and that's pretty neat looking, if not very alien, but...
Okay, I just started the stream. So it just crashed, but okay, it's back up. Um, uh, the stream didn't crash, but the YouTube page crashed. Let me pop out the chat here, so that's separate. Oh, and it's gonna freeze on me. Oh, and my entire browser just crashed. Oh my god. Fire, damn it, Mozilla.
You're not even using Chrome. I was gonna...
No, Chrome. I don't want to use Chrome. Chrome sucks.
I was gonna say, that's why you stopped using Chrome, because Chrome sucks.
No, I'll use Firefox. I do have... I guess I could try Edge, but I don't really know if I want to try Edge. Do I even have Edge on here? I don't know if I do. Oh, no, I do.
I was gonna make fun of I was gonna make the furry comment too, and then I was like, wait, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, you can. There's nothing stopping you.
I mean, I could, but self-burns hurt.
Oh, fair enough. Nah, that's the best part, is that we all mess with each other. Okay, so I still can't see my chat. I'm pretty sure the chat is freaking out right now because they have no idea what is going on, because everything is... Yeah, there you go. I was just doing a bunch of like work on like maps and stuff, and now that's all gone. So now I got to reload all that. So now I just got the generic map where nothing's filled out yet. That's stupid.
Yeah, the only thing that Horror sells in the U.S. is the Thermomix, the cooking appliance.
Where is... Okay, please pop out the chat. Please don't crash on me. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got...
Warwork as a company are very interesting, but yeah.
Okay, so I got...
Oh, this is going to sound weird because I'm trying to listen back to the stream.
Okay, so I got...
Oh, I'm confused now. Okay. Oh, where'd everybody go? Did they just stop talking?
What?
Oh, okay.
I'm dead now.
Hold on one sec. I'm just going to see if I can hear you guys.
Sound weird 'cause I'm trying to listen back to the stream.
When are we gonna get banned in North Korea yet?
Oh, I'm confused. Wait, what?
Here, you guys on the YouTube stream, can you guys hear the other two people? Other two people say words.
Words.
Cuz yeah, this is... I'm not used to this. I'm used to just trying to make myself sound good. Or not sound good, I'm trying to make myself be heard. But now I got to worry about the Discord too. So guys watching the stream, can you hear the other people? Because I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to stream on Discord and on YouTube at the same time, and I'm clearly a noob because I haven't done this in quite a long time. I heard one person say words. Okay, I think we're good. Because what I'm doing here for those on the YouTubes is I'm streaming on the channel, but I'm also streaming in Performance Reviews Discord server since there's more people there, and I'm trying to do both at the same time. And it's...
You dropped an invite to the place in your chat.
I forgot to do that, didn't I?
Yeah, sure you did.
Yeah, you did.
So yeah, so I'll send... Where is the... Oh, invite people. Here we go.
So here's what the current Warwork lineup is. Here's what the current kit looks like. They don't sell that in any 120 volt countries that I know of.
And there's no way to just convert it over, I don't imagine.
No, there's no way to motor swap them yet. Here's the thing.
It's not even that. I'm sure there are circuit boards in there too that would not necessarily react well to 120 volt.
Not exactly. A lot of people think that motor swapping machines is this complicated process that takes a lot of work. But it's one of those things that, yeah, basic electrical knowledge, it's not hard to do.
I mean, I've done like motor swaps and stuff with machines. Like, I mean, okay, so like I work at a vacuum shop currently, and like before that, I was an electrician's mate in the Navy, so I've done some electricity play.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. I was a glorified light bulb changer, so
Haha.
yeah. I never know what to say when people say that because I'm just like, I was just a dumb person doing things like, gotta change the light bulb now or whatnot. So,
So you were like an electrician's assistant?
uh, I mean, I did other things than that, but a majority of my job was, hey, my light bulb's out and I'm not allowed to touch electricity because I'm not allowed to. And then I'm like, okay, I
What?
got you. There's,
Who's not allowed to touch electricity? I mean, I guess people who've been shocked before?
the Navy is weird. We'll say that.
The Navy?
They're like,
Yeah.
they're like
Well,
the,
like, I was gonna say, in fairness, if you're around water all day, I'd be pretty
Yeah.
iffy towards you going near electricity too.
That's fair. But I mean, yeah, I mean, but that's why you dry off your hands with these great inventions called towels.
what the hell is that?
Oh, it's a piece of cloth you can use to remove water from damp surfaces.
Oh,
With a t-shirt.
And I also I just kicked my entire desk. But that's okay. This stupid $40 Walmart desk is not cooperating with me.
damn them.
Let's see. Okay, reading some of the comments. Dylan is here. Vacuum and carpet cleaner guy says, "Yo, boys and girls." Dylan says it's been the best for me.
That you could theoretically motor swap. It's just a lot of people are kind of lazy about it. Like, you could theoretically motor swap like a DC-01 or something and have it work in the U.S.
I would love to do
It's
that.
just nobody's tried it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's tried it yet.
Yeah, and like I can see that working, but a DC-01 doesn't have any, electronics, and that's kind of what I was mentioning. I would be more concerned about because like the Vorwerks have circuit boards, and
Right.
as far as circuit boards, I'm not super sure. Like I don't know much about electronics. I know about
It's like-
electricity, but electronics are
It's
weird.
like Vorwerk are the sort of company, and I doubt that Vorwerk's gonna be like Apple, where all their shit's proprietary and you can't like pull up a schematic for it. Bet you if
Yeah.
you took one apart, you'd be able to reverse engineer. You'd be able to reverse engineer all the boards inside of it. And
Well,
probably
that and,
order
like-
them wholesale from like China.
Well, the thing that I'm thinking about now, like electronic circuitry is almost always converted down to like DC. So like how like
Hey, there you
power
go,
converters
DC-01.
for desktop computers and stuff, there's like a lot of them come with that little switch for like 120 or 240 volt. I almost wonder if the circuitry in the machine, like there's a transformer that can kind of, it's like sewing machines. A lot of early sewing machines, at least some of the ones that I've worked on, they'll have a motor that's rated for 115 to 240 volt. As long as the frequency is in 50 to 60 hertz, you're fine. So maybe it's something like that where the
Yeah.
circuit board can convert down any voltage really, as long as it's within that and running at 50 to 60 hertz.
And yeah, that theoretically could work too. It's the thing with it is that the only reason why a lot of this stuff is unknowns is because I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of idiots in this hobby and a lot of people that just don't want that you bring up, hey, why not just swap the motor in it? And they just think, no, I don't want to do that.
So
They,
go ahead.
So they find themselves thinking, no, I'll just hook onto my dryer plug. That's a huge thing with gas.
And then try to run a 100-foot 240 volt extension cord through their house.
Yeah, from your fucking dryer. Just to
That
use
sounds
the
like
machine
fire.
for 5 minutes. Well, no, it's not even a fire hazard. It's more just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's kind of something that I've heard some like regarding that DCO1 we were just talking about, how since a lot of those I think those dry lines usually are, from what I understand, 240 volts, right? And they have a
240 volt.
yeah. So you know, I guess in theory, if you really wanted to use a DC01 and leave it unadulterated and you happen to not be using your dryer, you could just get an adapter that would adapt from the dryer plug to a UK plug, and then
You could
bam.
theoretically, but here's the thing.
It wouldn't be convenient, but I mean, you
Yeah,
you
let's
could
say
do that,
it's
right?
for- yeah, yeah, people have done it before. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Alex is doing it right now. It's it's something that's been done before.
Well, yeah.
It's just a huge pain in the ass.
Right.
So I was just thinking, and I don't know why I didn't think of this before. At work, like there are occasional times where we'll get a commercial, usually a commercial like extractor machine in, and it'll be 230, 240 volt, and the way that we like power those on and test them because we don't have a 240 volt circuit
Mhm.
is we'll like run. And I know this is gonna sound janky, but it works.
I know what you're gonna
and
say.
Run extension cords from two different
Yep.
circuits of so that way when they combine, the 120 combines into 240 because that's essentially
I
what.
wouldn't say
Yeah, science, math, to the
I
rescue.
wouldn't say that's sketchy. It's more just
That's pretty
you
sketchy.
should be You should be. It's
You
not
need to know what you're
sketchy.
doing.
Right.
Yeah, you should use a lot of precaution when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah, because like
Because once you have one plugged in, that other one becomes live.
so you just gotta
make damn
not touch
sure you
it.
don't touch it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read some comments right now real quick because I know someone just said they got done refurbishing their 78 Kirby Classic 3. That's cool. And Jeffrey said, "Hi, I'm getting a Dirt Devil hand vac." Oh, that's cool. Which one are you getting? And let's see. And then they said, "I sort of like Kirby's. Are you good at working on Kirby's, or are you just okay at them?" I'll be honest. I haven't worked on too many Kirby's just because I haven't been like asked to work on too many Kirby's. So I definitely wouldn't say I'm a Kirby expert. I mean, but I can work on them. They're usually pretty simple to work on depending on the issue. But I will admit a lot of the stuff that I've worked on Kirby's has been like relatively like easy stuff, like nothing too complicated. Just like belts, brush rolls, fans, like all the usual stuff.
The transmission goes out.
Yeah, I've never done a transmission swap on a Kirby, at least not that I can remember, and I'm sure if I had done something like that, I probably would have remembered it, considering how sparingly I get Kirby's in. And yeah.
I can't walk past you.
Yeah, I know you can't because you don't have pants on. Let me change the video real quick. There we go. Now it's, oh crap. Now I'm showing people's names. Okay, you can
honestly,
walk
I'd
by
work
now.
on a Kirby any day over like
It's off the webcam.
Oh yeah. Welfare
Why am I
specialists,
showing
those-
the map?
they always-
Oh, and now I'm showing my desktop. I'm just showing random stuff.
It always sucks. It always sucks to have to work on those.
Yeah.
Because usually what happens is that the people that want them repaired, they'll more often than not will have tried their own janky repair.
Oh God.
Or
No.
they won't have maintained it, so you'll have to sit there first having to undo someone's fuck ups.
Yeah.
Then you'll have to sit there and figure out the real issue, and more often than not, if it's a newer bagless machine, it's more a case of fucking filters. I believe it would either be the pre or post motor filters. No, I guess it would be the pre motor filter was never cleaned, and so now whenever you rev it up, it sounds like a fucking tornado siren going off in your house.
Well, what machines are you talking about? Like budget bagless machines like that always get in
Pretty
like
much.
that? Cause look, the machines that I've worked the most on are Bissell, and because those are just the ones that most people have had, and I can say from experience that the worst vacuum that I've ever had as far as being able to deal with non-maintenance and not have the motor go bad. I said that wrong. Basically, the machines that have the least tolerances for motors going bad are the original Clean Views. Those are the worst. Yes, the webcam's off, hon.
And
Yeah,
that's
and-
even in machines
And-
like batteries. Go ahead.
Sorry, what?
Go ahead, Babs.
Oh, I was just gonna say that the ones that every time one comes in, I'm just like, oh boy, here we go. The
Yeah.
first
There we
gen
go.
of the bagless lift-away Bissells, or lift-off Bissells. I forget which one's shark, which is Bissell.
The Bissell lift off bagless?
Yeah.
Like the one that's
every
just a
time
clean
one of-
view? Like it's like the same design
Yeah.
as a clean view, as an early clean view? Yeah, those because of the same setup as a clean view, so it makes sense why those would have the same issues. And
yeah, but, like, every time one of those comes in, like, there's just so much dust in the motor compartment. Like, I'll take it out to, like, blow it out or whatever, and I usually have to open up all the way to the motor just to get all the dust out, because I'll keep on trying to blow stuff out, and there's just more and more dust. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this clean unless I fully open it up.
right. And the thing about those is that it's so frustrating too, because then because look, like a lot of people give those machines crap, and I will admit, because I finally own one of those old clean views again, and they truly are awful machines in terms of filtration. And it's just amazing that, I mean, the newer Bissells are still cheap, but the filtration system is still really bad, but nowhere near as bad. Although, to be fair, they also have had less time to actually have stuff go wrong with them, because the newer Bissells have only been on the market for 5 years now, so that they haven't been out there since '02, to where there's so many of them that are just so bad. And the thing about those is that a lot of times, like you mentioned, like they'll sound like tornado sirens, and they'll always puff out a huge amount of dust. And the worst part about those machines is that, like, if they, like, because otherwise they're like, for the price they do clean a decent amount, for considering the fact that at the time they're like under $100, and I guess the current equivalents still are, like, yeah, they're not anything special, but for the price that you get, the performance is pretty good. It's just the filtration that's so bad, and that's why it sucks that the bagged versions of all those models, other than the original Power Force, but anything other than that, like the Power Glides, the Power Tracks, all those machines are just so uncommon because everyone bought the baglesses. Because that's whenever bagless was brand new, so everyone was like, ooh, what's this bagless stuff? And all those early twin chambers and clean views and whirlwinds sold a good amount because people are like, ooh, what is this? What's this weird stuff? And
I don't have to change bags, and look how much dirt I'm picking up, even though bagless machines are essentially dirt cotton candy machines.
Right. And oh god, someone just commented this: the hardest vacuum I ever worked on was a Hoover self-propelled. They're just annoying to work on. I freaking hate those machines so much. No, I actually got one of those recently. I got a self-propelled Ultra, and I'll be honest, I haven't fixed one of those in so long, and I'm so happy, because this machine, I'm just like, I don't want to mess with this. I just want to throw it away. I just want to, like, get rid of it, because I don't want to work on it. Because I know that with how much work you put into that machine, you're not going to get enough money out of it to make it worth it.
We get so many of those in, it's ridiculous.
I can't believe they sold them for as long as they did. They're just, because here's the thing, like,
They sold for like 20 years, right?
yeah, they came out in 98, I think. It was 98, and then they didn't get fully discontinued until like 2018, and you could still find new old stock for like the last few months of 2018. And
the thing is, those machines didn't need a transmission to help push it around until you put a transmission in it.
yeah.
Like, they weren't that heavy. Like, if you just get the regular wind tunnel that's not self-propelled, it's not that heavy. You can push it around fine.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because like the original, the self-propelled is so much heavier, yet it's also it's built significantly worse, because anytime you get one of those that are remotely old like that, they're falling apart. Whereas the same non-self-propelled wind tunnels, and I know because I have, a non-self-propelled and a self-propelled that are basically the same age, give or take like a year or two, and when it's 20 years old, that shouldn't make a difference. But like, the normal wind tunnel is built really well. It's a sturdy machine, and it's like, it still clearly has plenty of years of life left in it, but those self-propelleds just are just horrible. And
Yeah.
and that's the thing, because it's like, I almost wonder, like, at first, whenever I first looked at one of those self-propelleds, I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. This is much nicer than the non-self-propelled. But then I realized, like, it's It's not. It's worse in every way, and there's no reason for it to be self-propelled.
The only saving grace I think for the self-propelleds is like they do have the ability to like switch off the brush roll, and I wish that in the regular wind tunnel they had somehow offered that as an option as well. Because
Right.
that was a nice thing to have.
Yeah, but I
it's
mean,
not worth the extra weight.
right, and because here's the thing, because honestly, because especially back then, like in 1998, like the idea of having a machine, like at least a common machine on the market. I'm sure there are other like more boutique brands that probably had that figured out. I don't know if Sibo had it back then because I'm not that familiar with like Sibo or Miele or all that. But as far as like the common brands that everyone actually has heard of, there already were other machines, like, but not that many, albeit. But there were a couple machines on the market that did do that. I believe did the Excalibur offer that, or am I thinking of something else?
Kenmore that did that, and a couple Panasonics.
There were a couple Panasonics. There were a couple
And there's
Kenmores.
the Electrolux Discovery.
You just got really loud, but yeah, that Electrolux, and then there was also, if this was like 98, 99, I think the Cyclone XT would have just came out, and the Lightning as well, and those also had brush roll shutoffs as well. And
really, I don't remember that. I remember those just having a belt.
The Cyclone XT and the Lightning.
Cyclone XT had a separate brush roll motor.
Yes.
Okay.
The Fury.
I've seen one of those. I left.
Wait,
Putting one in the dumpster.
The what?
I don't think the Excalibur had a separate shutoff, but I'm pretty sure the Ultra MVP did.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the brush roll adjust, you could slide it to the stop position.
Well, and also,
Yeah.
the one nice thing about the Phantoms is that I don't know how many other machine uprights did this, but they actually came with floor tools. They weren't the best, but I mean, at least they came with them, which was nice, and they actually rode on board.
I don't think anything was nice about it, man. But let's just gonna throw that out there.
Well,
Nothing
look,
was nice
I mean,
about them. But
compare.
there's definitely the as seen on TV value added because we can throw it in because it was such a cheap machine. Why not?
Well,
I would
yeah,
say, like,
I do not
appreciate
doubt
they
that a
didn't-
lot of people bought the Phantoms because of the infomercials, and obviously that's something that whenever that obviously Europro took a page from their book, and I don't starting with like the original like Shark Sweeper, they started doing that too, and that again in the same case as Shark now, I'm sure there's a lot of people that buy them just because they see them on the infomercials. And I've watched some of
How
the.
many people come into the shop with like their old Dyson and they're like, oh, so should I just get a Shark? Is that better? And it's just like, how do I politely, in a proper customer service way, say that's a dumbass decision?
Well, you have to keep your pimp hands strong. So you want to say the pimp's prayer, and then you want to get your backhand game on and just slap them on their face. It's the most appropriate thing to do.
Well,
With some customers, I really wish I could do that. But I like my job, so.
I agree. Someone just commented in my chat. Do you know why Performance Reviews hates Shark with a burning passion? Alex, do you want to take that question over, and get it? They can get it straight from the horse's mouth.
They're not made to repair.
Yes.
They're awkward to use. And
Most
they
of them,
don't make
yes.
Parts available.
Yes.
So there's just kind of this machine that customers basically, if you get one on sale, sure, it's $100, but a lot of customers get ripped off at $300-$400 now for these machines.
Yeah.
There's just no reason for a bagless machine in 2021, in my opinion. I don't see a practical reason. I'm sure there is some reason I can't fathom. I don't see a practical reason.
There is one reason, and it's a very minuscule reason that honestly should be easy enough to avoid, is that the one good thing about bagless, and I know because I just had this the other day, where if you're clumsy and you accidentally suck up something small that you didn't mean to, it's easier to get it out of a bagless machine than it is ripping open a bag. That's the
correct.
one
That's
thing.
Why my central vacuum has an open top bag in it still.
Right, and there you go. If you have a machine that has something like that, then then it's basically a wash at that point. Or you could also just do your best to not suck up something you're not supposed to in the first place. But I'm what you call stupid, so sometimes I do that.
No, I do it all the time. My
Yeah.
wife did shit up.
What?
That issue was solved decades ago with machines like the Hoover Conquest and a lot of the Kirby machines, where they'll have like separate compartments that that like large. I guess the term would be ungrindable from the motor kit would get stuck in. Like I remember specifically the Conquest still had a little door on.
Yeah, they had that little clean out door. But if you suck up an SD card,
The Phantoms have that too, a clean out port.
I literally dug an SD card out of my central vacuum bag 3 weeks ago.
I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking more like a fucking something like a Lego brick or something. I know that's
Oh god,
Well,
Legos are the worst.
I'll
Legos destroy
Oh, yeah.
board fan instantly.
Well, I'll tell you what I sucked up, and honestly, it was the kind of thing where I could have let it go, but I like to have, because I swap phones and stuff, and I work on those too, I like to have a lot of SIM card removal tools nearby, and I was vacuuming,
Oh, yeah,
and yesterday I was vacuuming with my Fury, and I accidentally sucked it up whenever I was using the wand. And but the funny thing is I saw it get pulled up, I heard it get yanked out through the machine, I saw it go into the bin, but the weird thing is I emptied it and emptied it onto the carpet, no less, because I wanted to find it and see where it was, and it wasn't there, which was kind of weird. So I'm like, what the hell? And I opened the clean out port and I looked throughout the machine. I was like, did it get stuck somewhere? And it's kind of funny because I brought that up, yet ironically, like, I didn't even end up finding it, which is really weird. I'm like, where did it go? And I looked and I thought maybe it got stuck, so I tried to hit the bin. I thought maybe it got jammed. I couldn't see it anywhere. I don't know what happened to it. I mean, the good news is those SIM card removal tools are like $1, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. But it was just kind of funny because I didn't even end up finding it.
See, I may have used a DC-33 to suck up a bit of renovation mess.
Yeah.
May have been a bit of particle board going into it. Nails.
See, that actually, believe it or not, in my opinion, like, that sort of thing is actually good for a shark, because the cheaper sharks, compared to like a Bissell or something, the fact that they have separate motors and that there's no belt that's going to burn through if you get it caught on something, that is one area where I think they're good for that.
That's a modern design feature.
No, but I mean, for the price, I mean, yeah.
It's anything made in the past 20 years, for the most part, except for some rando cheap machines.
Well, yeah, you're talking about mostly like higher end stuff, like, and I know like the ceiling for high end stuff for us is a lot more than what it is for possibly some other consumers.
Like Kenmore's have had caught belts for the past 20 years.
Oh yeah, that too, or even something like a smart vac.
No, I'm not even saying high end or low end. That's a feature that's so easy and cheap to implement. And Shark is an example that companies that haven't done that are lazy. Yeah,
well, I mean, I will say that because like I've also had like Hoovers that are like around the same price that have like that clutch mechanism where it has that like that special kind of belt. I forgot what type of belt it is, but it's like a more flat belt.
Serpentine belt.
Yeah, serpentine belt. Sorry, the name was blanking on me. But I've had some of those Hoovers, like I have like the high performance models and some like that, and those can be hit or miss.
Real quick here. See, he has a Toyota because he hasn't had to change belts.
A Toyota? The fuck did you just say? A Toyota?
What? Like a toy.
A Toyota? If you say Toyota, the word toy is already in there. What are you talking about?
You gotta emphasize it. Anyway, that's what you were saying about. Which Hoover model are you talking about there, Tracy?
The one that I most recently had an issue with was a wind tunnel high performance that I was working on, where something with the mechanism wasn't working right, and it kept.
High performance? What's the model number?
If I'm remembering correctly, hold on. I'm gonna try to remember this off the top of my head and see if I get it right. It was UH76200, I think.
Is it one of the ones with the mechanical like push lever to disengage the belt?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's like an evolution. Like an evolution of the wind tunnel T series mechanism.
Oh yeah, it is a T. It is like a like that T series style.
It's like an overweight T series.
It is overweight. Yeah, it's kind of stupid. I'm not a fan of it.
Utter junk machine.
I mean,
Well, that's
those
the
more
point that I was
than
trying to
the
make is that when you're talking about like in that price range, because like that UH 76200 is $150. The entry level.
29 on at Walmart.com now.
Oh, it was 149 last I looked, but either way, we're talking same ballpark.
Yeah, we're talking
Because
change.
I was about to compare it to the NV351, which normally is 150, but now you can get a blue version at Walmart for 99. And the point that I was making is that in that range, yes, if you can find one of those sharks for that price, then yeah, the two motor system is a little bit more friendly to blockages, because I mainly use one of those sharks in my upstairs where the carpet is really torn up and I need to replace it. So there's always loose fibers that are getting pulled up into vacuums. And if I try to use anything with a rubber belt, or just really any kind of belt, it'll get jammed and burn through. Whereas with the shark, the motor will just turn off and flash that little red light, and I can pull it out and
you
get.
actually daily drive a shark?
Well, not daily, but it's only in my upstairs. My downstairs, I use something else.
All right.
Eh,
Daily driver check. What are y'all running? Come on.
Well, like I said before, I don't generally have much of a daily driver, but the closest I have to a daily driver now is the Sanitaire SL4110A, which I use that with HEPA bags if have like an
which
actual
one is
daily
that?
driver. It's the new one. It's basically just like the Big Green commercial, or like a Power Force with a good cord on
It's
it.
basically a Saniel is what it is. Or Samson. It's like the Samson Bissels.
Well, yeah, the Samsung Bissels. So,
yeah,
but
could
but
you
I
say the model number one more time?
SL4110A. I'm going off of memory.
4110A.
That's what I just said.
I know where you can get one of those. It's on eBay right now. I have a link to it in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's the
okay.
closest. That's the closest I
could
have to a
no,
daily
I
driver.
could not do that.
Well, you also have much more expensive machines I do, and I would definitely bet more disposable income. So,
Well, I mean, I think the important thing is, do you enjoy using it?
for what it is, yeah. I mean, because here's the thing. Look, I grew up with a lot of those Bissels, and I know that yes, if you, especially the bagless ones are horrible, and they have a lot of issues, especially the older style. And I always tell people, if you're gonna buy a cheap machine, if you're gonna buy something in the $50 to $100 price range, and you're not gonna invest any more money, then get something bagged.
Get something secondhand.
Well, I should.
$50 on a vacuum. It should either be a thrift store find or suicide's an option.
I don't necessarily disagree, but I was specifically talking new, where if someone says I don't want to buy a used machine, and
2021 you cannot buy a vacuum at that price new. That is not a reasonable amount of money to spend.
I understand that.
The USD, that's not reasonable.
Well, yeah, because I mean, keep in mind, if you look back at like machines that were $100 back in like 2002, like yeah, they're more expensive now, just accounting for inflation.
$200 machine now.
Exactly. Yeah. So, which makes you wonder that back then people paid $200 for an OG Clean View, and oh god, I feel bad.
Yeah.
I feel bad for
I
those
think it's
people.
kind of a bummer. Go ahead.
That yeah. Who was just talking? Did we all stop at the same time?
We all stop at the same time.
Okay.
Mr. Babb, what do you daily drive?
Currently, I kind of switch between. I have one of the purple Capricorns, and then I have a Cibo E1. It just depends on which one I feel like using, but those are my dailies.
Oh, you have a purple Capricorn? I want to get one of those. I have a silver Capricorn, but I don't daily drive that.
I love it, but the hose, I think, it's starting to do things like occasionally, specifically when I'm like trying to dust or whatnot, I'll just be vacuuming and then it'll kick the vacuum off and I'm just like, I didn't hit anything.
I'd clean the fingers under the hose.
Oh, the contacts? I don't know how to. So I don't know how to open that part of the hose up because like I've seen the screws and stuff, and then I'm like, there's plastic tabs somewhere that I can't see.
It's actually there's like a twist thing. I'll send you pictures or something later.
Oh,
It's easier to do.
I got another question in my chat. This is I didn't cut anybody off now, did I?
No, you're fine.
Okay, so
Who else did have a daily driver? I guess.
Yeah, me.
oh yeah, okay. Well, Robert, you go first.
Oh, not to toot my own horn, not to flash my wealth.
Well, you just did all that.
Use an LG I use an LG compressor every day.
Oh, those seem really nice. I haven't tried one though.
It's one of those machines that I recommend everyone try before they die because they're really great machines.
Is it the compressor upright or canister?
Well, they made them in both forms, but
Well, yeah, that's what I was asking. I was like, which one do you have?
of course I'm gonna use a fucking upright. I don't want a canister.
Is that sarcasm? I don't know. I don't know. Everyone has different thoughts. Yeah, I figured. I mean, you already know my preference. Although,
if motherfuckers are fighting each other over, you talked shit on the upright vacuum, then oh god,
yeah.
Care for humanity. Although I shouldn't say that because we've already ran into that in the fucking server.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sat that drama out.
Okay, so we got another. Oh, I was about to ask. So since you have the upright, is it because it looks like it's really heavy? Is it like a really bulky machine, or is it pretty manageable for what it is?
I mean, yeah, I can't speak on that sort of shit.
I remember it being like the Discovery or like a Mila U1 or like a Eureka 4870 size.
For some people, it might be just fine, but for others, it might be bulky as shit.
Yeah.
For me, it's just fine.
Oh, because I think I'll briefly come back, and then I have a question for Alex that I'll give to him real quick that was in my chat. Another part of the reason why I use that Power Force and why I want to get something like a Felix ideally, or I guess like the Karcher, is that I can't stand heavy machines, and part of that's because of my back, and also just because I'm just not a fan of heavy machines.
If you want a lightweight machine, then
and buy a canister.
Well, not even.
No, not.
If you want a lightweight machine, there's always something like an Auric Magnesium or something like that.
Well, I have a Platinum. I don't have a Magnesium, but for Oryx, the only Oryx I have right now is I have a XL Platinum and an XL2 Ultra, and I like them. They're really nice and lightweight, but they don't have any tools on board, which I don't like.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Those Platinums, they ain't shit compared to a Magnesium. XL2's alright. That's a classic.
I love it.
I'm gonna.
And both of mine are
funny
red,
by
so they
being
match.
like, you like a magnesium, so.
They're nice to use. They're very nice to use.
Yeah.
I didn't like them all that much. Yeah, I've used plenty of
Robert,
Magnesiums.
I imagine you take good care of your machines.
Oh yeah.
But for like the average consumer.
No, those airbags are not wide enough around that fan for the average consumer.
That actually raises
the nozzles get cracked and destroyed.
Yeah, well that raises a really good point, because I know that a lot of people have said, like, whether they're talking about budget machines or whether they're talking about certain machines that have issues with build quality like the Magnesium, is that kind of raises the question of like that everyone says, where the people make a big deal about build quality, but in my experience, generally, at least for a lot of the stuff that I've heard where people complain about the build quality, I think that generally, if you're nice with your machines, then I think that again, there are some exceptions where even like if you treat them nice, they still fall apart. But I think most of the time, like, people mention the Bissels where it's like, oh, those machines are crap, they fall apart instantly. When I'm like, those
are actually designed to fall apart. I don't think the Magnesium was designed to fall apart.
That is true. I do agree with that. But the thing is, even if they're designed to fall apart, with some exceptions, most of the machine will generally. Huh?
Handle fell off, time to go buy another one.
Right.
I have to say, I think the switching to the polymer base versus the magnesium base was a better choice on TTI's part with that. Because the polymer gives it a little bit more give, where the magnesium alloy just breaks off.
So you're saying that we should upgrade from the Auric Magnesium to the Auric polymer? That's what I got from that point.
That is, yes, and at $140 street price, they are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, to be fair,
that's a great price.
Dude, I'm starting to see Magnesiums being sold for like $100.
Which at that price, they're not a terrible. Like, if somebody picks between that and like a Shark or something, good for that.
I feel bad about selling them to customers for $5.99 back in the day, because that was the Auric price.
That's so in our shop we still have one Riccar Prima turbo team, and
1 sec, Dylan.
Riccar Prima.
Like it's been sitting on the floor longer than I've been there, and the other day like somebody was interested in it, and like one of my coworkers like went back and talked to our boss, was like, how much are you willing to go down on this? He's like, sell it to him for $250. And he's like, did we pay more for that? And my boss is like, I want to get rid of it. And I'm just sitting there like, I mean, that's fair. Get rid of it.
Because he's going to have to pay taxes on it, too. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's better to pay where your inventory is taxed.
Yeah. So
Okay, so...
It's just,
oh, sorry.
It's not a good machine.
Okay, so question for Alex. This is from Dylan. So he said, now I don't know if this is, obviously you can correct this if something he said was incorrect, but he said, Alex said Dirt Devil is better than Dyson and Shark. Can he please explain? I want to see his point of view.
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Corrected. Yeah, if that's not accurate.
I think there are certain models of Dirt Devil that are probably better.
Like what?
I mean, I think Dirt Devil doesn't overcharge for their crap. So the problem with Dyson is you're buying a budget level vacuum.
That's the key.
Yeah. I think Dirt Devil, like, you know what you're getting into. They're being more honest than Dyson or Shark. I think is probably, if I said something to that extent, is going on. And I want to tell you what my daily driver is. My daily driver has been my Viking V720 canister with the turbo nozzle.
I thought your daily was a Central.
It usually is, but I've been dailying this Husqvarna Viking because I'm in love with this little canister.
Huh. I've honestly never heard of that, honestly.
And,
I got bags for it finally, probably like 4 weeks ago, so I've been doing that.
Oh.
But I'll do that. I'll daily one machine for a while, and then clean up every once in a while with central vacuum in between.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Dylan just said, and again, I didn't see your tier list video, or at least I don't remember it, but he says that it was in your tier list video.
It was probably, I probably, that tier list video was such a troll, mostly.
It sounded like it was, to be honest, because I don't necessarily, with some exceptions, I don't necessarily think you can accurately, I mean, there are, again, some exceptions, there's obviously, like, different categories for brands, but I think in general, you can't say, like, for sure, like, one brand is better, one brand's worse, unless there is, like, a vast difference between the two.
Well, there's a vast difference, and I see
I'm sure.
differences why I was forming my opinion in that video.
Right.
It is based on my experience as a tech, but it's just one of those things. Yeah, I think Dirt Devil being owned by TTI would be another bonus, is you're going to get warranty on like Shark. So yeah, I would say Dirt Devil's better than Shark. Dyson's probably slightly better than Dirt Devil in terms of performance and like maybe longevity, question mark. Now that they're in a 2 to 4 year life cycle instead of a 5-year life cycle, I think that's different now.
Right. I will say, I'll preface this by saying this is entirely anecdotal, but I will say that I actually did have better experience the one time that I called Shark with issues than the one time I called Dirt Devil, but they were also separate issues. And like they address them in separate ways, and obviously my singular calls aren't necessarily representative of everyone's experience with either company. So, but
well, you could type in your zip code and go to a TTI warranty center and bring
right. Whereas because at least they have, at least they're making, like, even if there isn't one nearby, at least they're making an effort, unlike Shark. So I will say that, and I will say because in my experience, the one thing that Shark is helpful for is if you get a Shark and your motor is shot, like the main suction motor. In my experience, they'll send you a replacement if it's within warranty. But if it's anything else,
a lot of times if it's you shipping within warranty, that's kind of my.
I mean, I don't know if maybe it's something they changed recently, or maybe it was just because it was my first time calling. I don't know. But they didn't charge me anything for it. They didn't take my card. They didn't take nothing. They sent me a new motor.
It's like a mixed thing. I think it's like random. I've heard so many mixed things from places, and I've actually called them before and had them offer like things. I don't know. Dyson will send you a new part in the mail.
Oh yeah, they've done that too. Yeah.
Dyson is good on their warranty. I've got no qualms about their warranty. I have qualms about what they claim their machine is.
Oh right, yeah. Dyson is
Yeah,
certainly
false
a tier
advertising.
above Shark. I can confirm that because like when I got a Dyson, I got one that was like factory refurbished, and the wand was bent on it. So like, cause it's the stupid.
Which one?
No, this is so stupid because Dyson now does the stupid plastic wands, which is fucking stupid. And it was the Dyson Slim Ball or Light Ball, where it was a light ball, but it had a slim ball head, so it's basically one of those machines. So like a budget like Ball Animal or Ball Multifloor. And I got it as a
You're
refurb on
talking
their
about like the UP15?
UP16, I think,
Okay,
if I'm remembering correctly. Was
I
it
just
13? UP something, I forgot.
Wash your mouth out with soap.
This person,
Okay.
What did I do?
Someone brought up an interesting point in the chat and asked, wasn't Daredevil like a company that was meant to save Royal? The answer is no. They were not started to save the company. They weren't hurting
They
financially.
were started as a fuck you to consumers, basically.
Yeah. They started as a purely budget brand to get their name out there.
A purely disposable brand that will be thrown away.
Yeah.
If you've seen the initial Dirt Devil launch that they gave dealers, or they had this presentation.
Which is kind of hilarious because it's like because here's the thing, because the way that I usually go about my machine reviews is usually I'm not negative about it like as a whole, unless there truly is something like that's just not my review style. I get that. I'll still say everything that's wrong with the machine, but I won't be like, this is a piece of shit. I'll just be like, it has this problem, it has this problem, it has this problem. You probably shouldn't buy it unless you somehow don't care about any of these problems. So that's usually the way that I'll say it. But I did a review of one of those of one of the new Dirt Devils, the new Power Max models. Which, first off, why that name? That's so stupid. They're trash because somehow they couldn't figure out how to get the attachments to fit on their own vacuum that they come with in the box. I've never seen a vacuum
Are those
with
Q-tips in your hand?
that. They are. Why do I have these in my hand? And
You better not be sticking them up your ass.
no, not these. No. So basically, the Dirt Devils. I don't know how they managed to screw that up so badly, and I'll also say this because it's relevant to, or I should say, I mean, I'm not surprised that they screwed it up that badly, but when you compare it to like the old Breeze, like the old Breeze, it has its flaws. The filtration is non-existent, but it cleans pretty good for what it is, and again, it has its own
the
flaws.
filtration's non-existent. I wouldn't say it cleans.
It doesn't clean the air, but it picks up stuff.
It redistributes.
It redistributes. Well, I mean, it still gets
Distribute
most of it into the bin, but
It's basically a carpet blower.
carpet floor.
Totally
Well.
a carpet blower.
If it's fucking redistributing, then goddamn, why didn't Lennon have one of those? Fucking redistributing dirt to the population, man.
Or that reminds me of a video that I saw a while ago where it was one of the early YouTube videos, and it was one of those where someone took an old Hoover Elite and he ripped the bag off it and he used it outside in like Minnesota or something, and he used it as a snowblower.
Oh, well, so that's what you do when a customer is a jerk to you on the phone. You bring the machine outside, you do that, and then you wipe it down and give it to them.
You're like, we washed it out.
Hey, and if you say that, you're not technically lying. You're not lying.
It's abrasive. It'll chip away at all the dirt and everything, and then just dry out.
Okay.
Listen, you see, Chad, a little bit of gravel in there. Might sound a little bit louder, but fuck it. They won't know the difference.
Gravel's the best way to clean fans off on a Kirby.
I've seen that done before. Using fucking gravel to
Oh.
I guess the term would be polish aluminum fans on a couple traditions.
Well, just the idea of the sound of that makes my teeth.
Okay, another question from my YouTube chat that I'm pinging to the whole audience. Apparently, this has just become the Alex server Q&A at this point, but everyone keeps asking questions. So let's see. Actually, there's a couple in a row, and I just missed it because I'm stupid. Oh, here we go. Question for anyone in the voice chat: what do you prefer, an older Hoover upright like one from the '70s, or a newer SIBO canister?
Neither.
SIBO.
Oh, a canister any day of the week. I would a canister from the 70s any day of the week. I always prefer a canister to an upright lighter or maneuverable most of the time. There are exceptions to that.
Was the question specifically 70s Hoover or current day SIBO canister, or like?
Yes. Or wait, no. Maybe I'm reading this wrong because it says, "What do you prefer, an older upright?" and then in parentheses, example, an older Hoover from the 70s, or a newer SIBO canister.
Why isn't he in the VC asking us this shit?
Huh?
Well, maybe he's a squeaker.
I'm gonna ping that dude right now.
Maybe he's being polite.
But no, I second that. I would take a SIBO canister almost any day over an older upright.
I would take a
unless it
SIBO
was
canister
something
only
unique.
because even if I didn't care about a SIBO canister, you know how much money I'd be saving versus buying a 70s Hoover? Of course I'd rather have the SIBO canister. Even if nothing else, even if it somehow wasn't a better machine, which it obviously is, but just like for how much money I'd be saving. Assuming the question is like, which would you rather have, not which would you rather buy.
I mean, honestly, it's like the SIBO's going to be quieter. That's a big thing for me. Like, I don't like super loud ear-splitting machines.
Are SIBOs quiet? I know Mila's are.
Extremely quiet.
Can I just, in a minute, I'm just gonna pack up a Mila and send it to you.
Oh, I would not. Oh,
This man could experience something normal.
So
I would
Tracy,
not object. I would not object at all. If you know, send me
Tracy,
send me a Felix
so-
too, please.
just
I'll send you a Phantom. What?
Just for
No,
reference.
you should
Like,
never send me a Phantom.
Well, that's why I offered, because I knew you wouldn't take it and I'd be able to keep it.
there. So I was just gonna say, like, with any current SIBO, like my E1, I can have it on max power and be vacuuming even with the turbo nozzle because I bought the turbo nozzle, and I can be having a phone call with someone and they don't even know I'm vacuuming.
Yeah, the turbo nozzle's louder than the vacuum, right?
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
and even then it's not that loud. It's the newer style Wesselwerk nozzle.
The DK286. That's an amazing nozzle. That's what
I-
was liking.
Yes, I adore that nozzle. It works so well. But yeah, the machine is so quiet that even with that, you can have a phone call. Like, you're not going to disturb people.
Yeah.
I will admit, like, that is one
That's the
thing
way a
that would
vacuum
make
should
me.
be.
Oh, I agree, because that is the one thing that I think would actually make me, like, really excited to use something like that, because obviously I can't stand heavy machines, but also I just can't stand loud machines. It's part of the reason why I've kind of been, as time goes on, like more disappointed with collecting Dirt Devils, because every Dirt Devil is a friggin' screamer. Other than there are like 2 Dirt Devils in existence that don't scream, and it just hurts your ears after a while.
Can I just point out that it's not hard. I'm hearing all this talk of, oh, I don't like loud machines. I don't like loud machines, guys. It's not hard to go on eBay and even put some acoustic foam in where the motor is to quiet it
But
down.
not everybody is skilled enough to do that without screwing something up.
I mean, I can. I just don't want to.
And that way, those fuckers better just deal with their tinnitus then.
Yeah.
Or buy a better vacuum if they can afford it.
Right.
Or
I will be
use
honest and say
vacuum
that
better.
if I wasn't a collector and I had just somehow amassed all these machines randomly, I mean, if I was able to find buyers for all these machines at once and I could clear them all out, I could definitely afford, you know, a SIBO or a Mila or something like that.
Why can't you afford one right now?
Well, just because I just don't have the disposable income to spend that on a vacuum
Give him
cleaner.
a super chat. Everybody just start giving him super chats. Right
No. Sorry, no. I have more work
Well,
to
it's
buy.
kind of funny because I just had someone a little bit of personal story. I just had like someone reach out to me on Twitter because a lot of parents watch my videos, or
Oh,
I should say
boy.
a lot of kids watch my videos and their parents will like comment and be like, "Hey, my son loves your videos," and that's also a reason why I don't curse in the videos either, because I know I have a lot of a much younger audience.
Hey
But
kids, how's this for a video? Kids!
well, the
I
street
think it's important to curse occasionally in a video and just exercise freedom of speech. You don't need to make it a George Carlin routine, but if something hurts you, the appropriate reaction is, "Fuck, that thing just made me bleed."
I have
Dyson
cursed.
DC-07
I have cursed in videos before. There was one time when it was the stupidest thing ever, where I was unclogging one of my machines with another machine, and it was a Bissell, so it was one where the hose is right in the middle of the thing, because I hate myself. And speaking of self-hatred, whenever it sucked something up, it was big enough to where it blocked the airstream, the hose contracted, and the handle came crashing down and whacked me right on the head. And if you watch that video, I did scream "fuck" in that video, but thankfully Susan didn't see it, probably because the noise of the vacuum probably covered it, so you couldn't hear it that much.
If it's not the first 30 seconds, she doesn't care. If you look at the upload thing, they just don't. That they don't care about. They care if you say the big C word or some of the other words.
What, con?
Communism?
Oh, that too.
No, they want that. There you go, Tracy. There's a super chat.
Hey, thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. My only thing is you accidentally put a decimal point in there. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, let's just say I've had a few machines that I've acquired lately, more than I wasn't planning to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder.
I could relate to that.
I feel that.
I feel that in my soul.
Working at a shop now, I feel like the number of machines I've taken home that were like trash or like trade-ins that we weren't gonna do anything with.
That's getting high on your own supply. That's very dangerous.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is super dangerous.
Well, that's how, if you guys saw...
The only positive side is, like, pretty much anytime I do that, a lot of those machines end up going to friends because they're like, oh, I need a better vacuum. And I'm like, oh, well, you're in luck. I've got this.
We better not be giving them any rare shit. We don't want that
No.
shit getting fucked up.
And if any of you give away a Phantom to someone who's just gonna abuse it, I will find you and I will put cottage cheese in every single vent in your house.
Did then. Ooh.
No, like we had a trade-in C2 compact. It was back when it was called the
Interstate.
Yeah.
No, it was a Mila, the Mila C2.
Oh shit.
But it was back when it wasn't called the C2. It had like
You mean the S6000?
I want to get a G1.
Yes, the white one. I forget what it was. It wasn't
The Onyx.
Was the Onyx white?
Yeah, there was the Onyx white, and there was the Onyx, the Topaz, the Jasper. Yeah, I think the Onyx was the white one.
Either way, go ahead.
I could go find the brochure. I haven't.
And don't forget the one where you dabble in the gators.
But yeah, we got one of those, and like the I don't know how the customer had done this, but they managed to break the little like lever actuator. So when you press on the power switch, there's like the little lever that hits the actual physical power button. That broke. So I jury rigged that back together, and I gave that to a friend that had one of those like Dirt Devil Endurances or whatever, the little POSs. Yeah, and I'm like, please, just stop using that.
Yeah, when things got serious with my wife, and I was dating her, I gave her a spare Mila I had to use.
A spare Mila.
I had a Mila 300 series yellow. I still have the yellow machine, obviously. I gave that for her to use.
Oh, hey Alex, I'm gonna trigger you. I'm gonna show you what I got my fiance.
Yeah, it's gonna be something.
You're not gonna trigger me.
Also, where is the link to this video stream? Because y'all are referencing it, and I'm just sitting here like...
Oh, it's on Tracy's channel. I'll put it in general.
Yeah,
let me just...
on
the
general.
DMs. There you go.
Yeah, I muted his audio so that I can hear the Discord audio, not him at the same time, because there's a delay between YouTube and him.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
That way, at least I can...
see a
have
Phantom.
That's the one my grandparents had.
Oh, the Fury?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely my favorite Phantom, even though it is objectively one of the worst Phantoms out of the main four.
And I immediately get disappointed looking at your collection.
This isn't my collection. This is just the crap I have in my living room.
I mean, I can appreciate the Phantoms just in the sense that, like, they were early bagless and they were unashamed bagless. They weren't trying to pretend, at least from what I remember, I'll probably get corrected, but they weren't trying too hard to... Like, Dysons are trying to be like, these are the best filtration and nothing is better and stuff.
Yeah.
Their big claim was they didn't clog. They got sued out their ass for that claim.
Well, Dyson, not Phantom never said they didn't clog, but Dyson did. Not from any of the not from any of the
I don't even,
infomercials
like,
that
when I'm
I've
doing-
seen,
when
unless
I
they
do
told
central
dealers
back
something
stuff for
different.
Customers, even then they'll be like, oh, so this will never clog, and I'm like, hopefully.
I mean, if it does, it will clog in the hose or the inlet. In theory, it's really hard for it to clog in the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know why more houses aren't built with central vacuums. It's more common. For some reason, Canada has a high ratio of central vacuums.
Well, it's because Canada are a bunch of lazy asses.
Whoa. Do you think carrying around that 30-foot hose is lazy?
Yeah, I do, because it's a lot lighter. That 30-foot hose is actually a lot lighter than most upright vacuums.
Yeah.
No.
That's fair.
You still have to pick it up and carry it and like wrap it up, and I don't know.
Oh,
I'm just trying
let's
to defend the lazy argument, but
yeah. Well,
I think
yeah.
it's
I
just
think Canadians are pretty lazy, I would say, overall.
Yeah, but
innovative.
compared to us, I don't think it's really.
Canada
I
right
think the
now,
difference
and
is
she
margin of
wants to
error. I
leave
would
as soon
say.
as possible.
Okay, let me look at some comments real quick. Let's
Yeah,
see.
why don't we read some comments and not hate on Canada?
Yeah, I love Canada, but I mean, you got poutine, you got hockey, you got
Never
healthcare.
seen
What more
South
could you
Park
want?
bigger, longer,
I want an apology for
untied.
Justin
Not
Bieber.
Okay, but look, don't act like we haven't caused some cringy people either. So we're not so innocent in that regard.
Yeah. No, well, I'm seriously just making it sound.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. These are made in Canada. I completely forgot about it. We were talking about Canada. These things are made in Canada. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Early 2000s, there was most every vacuum brand selling trash. Wouldn't say that's true.
Who the hell said that?
It says Ethan Boyle, bro. It's supposed to be Roy, Bra. It's a. I don't understand these people. Yeah, I don't understand these people's abbreviation.
I'm really far back in my comments. Let's see. I hate Dirt Devil customer service. Oh yeah, I never did. I don't think I got through that story, did I? So.
You should thank Dylan for giving you $5.
Who gave me? Wait, what?
Dylan gave you $5.
Oh, thanks, Dylan. Let's see.
All right, so there's $10. Put that aside. Don't spend it on soda. And
that'll be your SIBO money.
Yeah, you're gonna start giving you SIBO money.
You just had to fucking call me out like that, dude. I promise. There is no soda company that owns. I can't fucking drink it. There's no company on sponsor.
You better not do any.
You have like 4 cans of soda on the background. And
It's
one in your hand.
It's because I'm
Not do any
fat.
product placement. Susan will rip you a new asshole if you do that.
I haven't done any sort of product placements, but
Unless it's Bang energy drink.
oh god, my fiance
G
drinks
Fuel.
those,
G
and I
Fuel.
hate those so much. They're so bad for you. I mean, this stuff's water compared to that Bang crap. Oh my god.
I just said that because like I watched a video recently
yeah.
about the weird advertising for them and stuff. So that's why I was just like,
Are you talking about that Illuminati video, or am I thinking of something else?
possibly. I'm terrible at remembering like who. Like a lot of times my friends will just send
the
me
girl
stuff,
the
or
girl with the
I'll
triangle
watch
for a
something
head.
and then I'll forget.
What the fuck? Triangle for it.
Or it's like a whatever. But that's her channel. Let's see. Let's go back. Okay, so the point that I was trying to say about that Dirt Devil is that what they did is I bought one of the new Breezes because I'm stupid and I hate myself. But you're seeing a pattern here. So I got one of those because they had randomly come back to my local Big Lots. They got like 4 of them in for some random reason, even though they'd just been discontinued for a few years. And so I bought one, and I was like, yeah, whatever, might as well. And so I bought it, and the handle was like bent on it, like it was like warped, and it wasn't like put together properly. Whenever you held it, you could feel like the big seam on the side, and there was an air gap. So
that's done for ergonomics.
Right.
So when the motor eventually burns out from a lack of maintenance, they can just, when you phone them up, they'll just say, "Oh yeah, you see that handle? Yeah, just shove that up your ass because we're not gonna give you a warranty."
Well, the thing is that this, unlike the old Breeze, the new Breeze has that like loop thing that a lot of handles have now, so it's much harder to do that for some people.
That, or you just, if they know their customer base already.
That too.
You already had the earlier handle. Let's move up.
Ah, okay, you got to upgrade. Anyways, so what they wanted me to do is they were like, okay, we don't have any handles, and I'm like, I thought TTI was supposed to be good with parts, but I guess because this one was off the market for a bit. But yeah, so Dirt Devil still, they're like, no, we can't get anything for that. And I'm like, you discontinued this like 17 minutes ago. You don't have nothing for it? And they're like, no, we can't get you a new handle. So they're like,
Why
either
they discontinued it.
yeah, that, which is weird because normally it's, you think it's the other way around. It's like you discontinue it, like, and then later on you get rid of the parts
Hey,
because
Tracy, you probably should get in your chat to read some of them.
what happened?
I just read the chat.
Yeah, well, I was trying to respond to because someone was asking about the Dirt Devil service, and I was trying to get past that, but we keep getting off on tangents.
So go back to your
So-
last super chat and then read the present.
Okay, so just ignore everyone else. Let's see.
Those guys.
Okay, yeah, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything important here, anyways.
You guys aren't important. Bye.
Oh shit!
No, I didn't say the people weren't important. I'm saying the comments weren't important. Weren't important.
I'm so strong.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here's one question that I'll get to before we go to the new stuff. Question for anybody, anyone in the call. I'm looking into buying an early 1999 to 2003 upright vacuum. What would you guys recommend on getting? I'm not looking into anything specific. So wait, so are you trying to look for something that's collectible or to use? Because like, why would you, if you want to use it, why would you buy something that old and just randomly within that time frame? I mean, you know what I'm gonna recommend, but I mean, I'm dumb.
What are you gonna recommend?
Just kidding. You can't find any of these anymore. I bought the last of them, so good luck with that. Let's see. Honestly,
You know,
let's
at
see.
that time period, a Hoover wind tunnel self-propelled is worth having.
Ooh, non-self-propelled. No, non-self-propelled.
You're eventually, once you get one of those, you're gonna eventually become one of those collectors who starts thinking, oh wow, I got one shitty Maytag made machine, I gotta have them all now. And then you find yourself looking for shit like an M-Power or a WT.
I have an M-Power, and
I
it's
do
and
not
it's
see the
yeah.
problem.
Well, look, here's the one thing that I will defend some collectors on, because I'm in a few vacuum collector groups on Facebook, and everyone makes fun of. They're like, oh, all the Bissell kiddies in here, the kids who like Bissell, oh, they're not real collectors, and it's like, look. I get that everyone has different tastes in machines, but here's the thing. If everyone liked the same 3 machines, no one would be able to get one. So if you have someone who likes the cheap crap, then that means if you have the cheap crap, you can sell them the cheap crap, and you make money, and they get something they like. Everyone wins.
I mean, I feel
That's
like
my
we're
thought. That's my thoughts on it.
I feel like we're kind of glossing over some though. Like, so for example, like not to get too much into my own life, but like I grew up kind of not well off. So like,
Same.
for a long time, we had a hand-me-down like Bissell Clearview that
Clean
like
view.
one of the first gens, and yes, it was bagless, but me being the way I was, even when I was younger, I was super religious about like every 2 weeks I washed the filters, I let everything sit out and dry properly, I washed out all the bins and everything, but like
You're in the 1%.
I know, and
Oh, yeah.
because of that, it wasn't a terrible machine, especially for free. But again, during that time, we couldn't afford a nice vacuum, or rather, I couldn't talk my mom into being like, "Get this." So we
Right.
made do with what we had. So if you're gonna get a cheap machine, the best way to have it not be terrible is take care of it. If they say wash the filters every month, wash the filters every 2 weeks, because I can guarantee you, a month is too long.
Oh yeah, especially for those clean
That's why
views. There are
I'm so
some.
happy to see the budget bag machines return. I'm happy to see the
Oh, yeah.
budget Hoover Tempo.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
so
the
happy
main
they got
problem.
that.
Well, the main problem with those is that to still compared to like, compared to like maybe like 10 years ago, and there's probably not much of a difference, but you still like that budget Hoover, that Tempo. You're not. I have yet to see that in any store. Any store. The
It
only
hasn't been around 10 years though.
the only bagged what?
The Tempo I'm talking about is a wind tunnel T bag.
No, yeah, I know. I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying, because it's like, I'm saying like bagged vacuums. The only bagged vacuum that I've ever really seen in most stores is the one Power Force, and that's it. Because and I'm not talking just, I'm not just talking Walmart. Oh yeah. I know that. Like, and
Yeah,
obviously
so-
now it's much
A lot
more
of people
feasible for
also
people to
have
buy
eBay
machines on
too,
Amazon.
Walmart,
But- But
So-
I know.
It's not relevant.
So just
Well-
a quick search on Amazon. Literally, all I typed was bagged vacuum. There's the first four results are one, the two Kenmore Intuition bagged uprights, the Kenmore bagged canister, and there is still the Hoover Wind Tunnel T Series Tempo. And while the Kenmore Intuition liftaway shark thing isn't great,
Yeah.
at least it has a bag.
Right.
Yeah, but it should be $100 machine.
Yeah, like the shark that it's
I
obviously
agree
modeled
completely.
after.
But
yeah.
also for $189, it's gonna be way better than any Shark or Dyson as far as
It's
I-
really
I'm
awkward.
guessing.
I had one of those. It's
I saw
really
your-
awkward.
I saw your video.
Yeah,
I
I
saw
don't
that,
necessarily
but-
know if
So
I
click
agree
on
with
the
that,
Hoover
but
Wind Tunnel T
that's
Series
fair.
on Amazon real quick, and
Yep.
if you scroll down, you'll see my video on it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Okay.
looking at chat right now, and I see a couple comments. This person says, listen, I already have a Vintano.
Panasonic Performance Plus model MCV7395A. Also, a Eureka Powerline Limited with the True HEPA filter. I'm mostly a fan of Eureka in the early 2000s. Yeah. I mean, at least...
Is it the same? Hold on. That part at the end, I'm mostly a fan of them in the early 2000s. Is this the fucking kid that I see a lot on, like, places like Vacuum Land and shit, where...
He's got this Dylan kid has a YouTube channel. If that's what you're talking about.
No, he was
No,
responding to
no,
Andrew's
this is
comment.
the
And
one,
let's
yeah.
not gossip about people in my audience.
All right. Well, I'm the type of person I'll tell it to your face how it is.
Okay, fine. I'll just say this. I'm not responsible for anything any of these bozos say.
he is not.
There we
he
go.
is not in
There we
any
go.
way associated
So
with
if
my
they say something mean, it is not endorsed officially by Intelitech Studios or my person.
If I say something mean, it's what's the word?
unassociated.
No, it was unintentional. There we go. That's
Because
the word.
Alex
Right.
says wash the filters every use. Why? Because they lose their efficiency after one use.
Right. I mean, well, here in my experience with a lot, and some machines are different, is that in my experience, a lot of those Bissels, and I can say that because I still own one of those Clean
Specifically
Views,
talking Dyson, though.
is that was he? I didn't see. I thought we were
it
still
says
talking about
wash
that.
Dyson filters, and yeah, they really do lose their efficiency. I'd say the newer handhelds
what?
are better. Like the V11 is better, but I'd still wash it after every use. I wouldn't let that thing just sit there and collect dirt.
In my experience, it's the other way around because I don't have a V11, but I have a V8, and I've owned
Yeah,
a
completely different the way
bunch
that
of
works.
I've
The
owned.
filters are different.
You have one in your... Wow, you have a V8 engine in your living room? Oh, what kind is it? A Chevy? A Ford?
It's a Toyota, you know me.
It's a 3.8 from a Lincoln LS from back in the day.
What is? I think my Toyota's a 6-cylinder. I think. I don't remember. I'm not a
Well,
car
some
guy.
of us don't
I can't
like
remember
oil
this
leaking
stuff.
everywhere.
Don't like what?
I say as I drive my Mini Cooper.
I don't like
come back when the
I
supercharger
don't like the way
gets
American
more
V8s are timed. Their firing order is backwards.
Have you maybe just considered that maybe all those motherfuckers in Germany, maybe they just got their shit backwards?
No. They
I'm just
run
saying, this
higher and they're much
regulation's out
smoother.
there, and
You know, and as much as I love a 6-pack, low power crap, but no, they really are more practical. Let's go back to vacuum cleaners.
Okay, so. Damn it. Okay, so.
The best Dyson Cyclones are the DC-14.
no, those are terrible.
Well,
These
in
are
terms of
the easiest
repairability,
ones.
in terms of
Those are
repairability, the
the
14s are the
easiest.
best. In,
Dylan, I agree with you. The DC-50 worst Dyson made because those Cyclones are horrifying to pull apart.
yeah.
They are, but they clean well. That's one of those machines. So something I've noticed since I started doing performance reviews is some machines are very nice to use, but horrendous to work on the bench, and vice versa. Some things that are horrible on the bench are actually really nice to use. So that's like the DC-50 is really nice to use, and it cleans well. And I get it, but I agree that Cyclone is a horrible design, and that's what they based the V11 Cyclone off of.
Isn't that 50 also the one where it's like where the air path is literally like cut in half down the middle, and it goes like up into the cyclone and then back down.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
it
Yep.
is.
Who thought that was a good idea?
I mean, it's Dyson.
The same man. It's the
Dyson
same man
engineers
that
are horrible.
thought that pulling
Yeah,
his
well, because that's the thing, because it's
to his
like,
American partners was a good idea in
Yeah.
2001.
well, that's the thing, because I think that's a good example of where Dyson was more concerned about it looking nice than actually cleaning well, because like,
I've
yeah,
never
like
been
the,
concerned about them cleaning well.
or not cleaning well, but like not, how do I say this? Because
Most of
I
them did
know if I
not
say
clean well.
like
It's
versus
universal.
falling apart, but I mean then everyone would say, oh, they fall apart anyways. You know what I mean? In terms of it being even worse than it normally is. So because of that
Yeah,
stupid
yeah,
stupid
it's
half
particularly flawed.
circle
The Cyclone is
thing,
particularly flawed
yeah.
even by Dyson standards.
I've thankfully I've had the pleasure of never using a DC-50, and if
Well,
I
they're nice to use, but don't.
well, I think that Dysons in general, at least all the ones that I've used except the 15, are nice to use. Like they're nice to push, they're nice
What
to
about
pull. The
sound?
attachments
They're
work
always
good
horrendously loud. Were you talking about quiet vacuums or Dysons? Are
compared
so
to a lot of the other stuff that I've used. Not usually.
everything you use. So I have to ask everything I've really only discovered your videos a few months ago, so I've been watching some of them as they come up with my subscription feed,
Right.
and a lot of the stuff that you get is like just the
Crap.
Some of the
You can say
the
it.
worst of the worst.
Yeah.
It's the drizzling shit.
And it's just like, and I have a friend I have a couple friends who are in like St. Louis, and I know Tom Gasco in Southern Illinois. He's in Raleigh, wherever, and I know
Gasco's in
people,
Illinois. Oh, that's
you know,
cool.
in Cook County. So I know in Illinois there are good vacuums around on the used market. I just so happen to know that. But in your area, there seems not to be.
Well, I will say this. Obviously, I'm trying not to like give out my personal information on stream, but
Yeah,
I-
say your area.
well, yeah. Well, because here's the thing. Because I will clarify that I technically live in a city, but that's only because where I live is just barely the threshold to be called a city. It's still a small area. It's not Chicago, but it's also, again, there is only one vacuum store within like hour radius. So, it's that weird middle area where it's not out in the middle of nowhere, but it's also not like an actual major city, if that makes any sense.
I made the trip from Chicago to St. Louis by a car as a kid so many times. Like I know that there's just what's in between there. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I'm a
Just
little bit further south,
I
but
could
yeah.
never do that. I mean, I think where I live right now in Denver is probably the smallest city I'd feel comfortable living in.
Well, here's the thing. I actually really like where I live because I don't like living in. I know Chance's address law.
like
Don't
living,
ask how.
period.
Okay, I stopped.
There are options. I mean,
When they say that's the case now, then you should
Okay,
really,
in all seriousness, I actually do enjoy living more than I used to. I will admit.
Yeah, but then like, then who's gonna rescue these vacuums?
Exactly.
Oh, no.
Okay. I'm like
you feel like living.
what's the what's like that the name of like that animal rescue place where like the Sarah McLachlan does the commercials with like the dogs and stuff? I'm like that but with shit. I'm like that but with shit vacuums.
You love them because it's not the vacuum's fault it was designed that way.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to.
It's not that shark's fault behind you that the people that made it didn't do the best they could.
Yeah, and I want to give it a good home where he's cared for and not. I mean, once in a while a vacuum will piss me off and I'll throw it out the window, but other than that, they get treated very well.
I just appreciate so like the thing about vacuums or why I collect vacuums is the same reason I collect some other machines and things. I like finely machined, well-engineered products. I appreciate things that are quirky or broken, and I have a few things in my collection like that. But I really appreciate things that are well made and well engineered.
Oh, this comment. Well, Chance, you found a good dude. You're engaged. You drink 10 tums of pop per day. You're living the dream. Amen, brother. Now the only thing that's left to do
You are the
is
vacuum savior.
yeah. Cause I know sure is, hey Alex, I mean we can admit this, or I guess any of you guys in this chat, if 99% of the stuff in my collection, if it had crossed any of your guys' paths, you probably would have thrown it in the dumpster. And hey, that's totally fine.
What machine
But
missed it?
for me,
Lisa,
I said
you
like most of my
threw it in the
collection, with some exceptions. I have some, you know, I have the Smart Vac, I have the Wind Tunnel, I have some, you know,
dumpster.
I'm
arguably
kind of interested
decent
in that
machines.
Electrolux you have.
Oh yeah, I have that too. Sorry, my memory is ass. So like if I forget something that I just recently got, then yeah. I have the Dial-O-Matic. I have a couple of those Electroluxes. I have.
Cool machine.
It is. It's heavy as
love
shit,
it.
but it's a
Oh,
cool
yeah,
machine.
It's heavy. It doesn't have a whole lot of power either. Like,
No.
The motor is severely under.
Oh yeah, and look, because I know you said why you collected vacuums, and I kind of want to, because part of the reason why I started collecting, well, first off, I'll very quickly and very briefly give like the Cliff Notes version of why I started fixing and collecting vacuums, and that's because, well, I'll be honest, I actually don't know why I started fixing vacuums, but I just did. The first vacuum.
Can I just sum it up for you?
Sure, let's see what you got.
You're on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
See, this is, it won't
Wait, don't we all have to raise our hands there for that one now, though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all do. We all really do.
Everyone in this chat, it's okay.
Everyone take a drink.
Everyone take a
Everyone
shot.
drink.
Take a shot, depending on take a shot for every notch you're on the spectrum.
An afternoon at the vacuum shop with Temple Grandin.
Yeah. Well, look, and I will say that the first part of the reason why I think I started collecting was because there's actually an interesting story behind it, because and this is kind of a personal story, but I will tell this because I think it's pretty interesting, is that whenever I was really little, I was actually a preemie. I was born premature, and I was born premature by exactly 3 months to the day. So I was born right at the 6-month mark. So obviously, I was not quite ready for prime time, so to speak. And obviously, whenever I was born, I had to have obviously a lot of the tubes stuck down my throat because my lungs weren't fully developed. And so I couldn't breathe on my own because, again, 3 months early, I was barely 2/3 of the way done. And
Why were you in such a hurry to leave?
I don't know. That's a good question. But I will say, yeah, my mom had to get one of those C-sections. That was probably the saddest section of her life. But the
You gave her an early C-section. Wow. So you're a miracle baby.
oh yes, and that's why my name's Chance. Fun fact, because the doctor said there was no chance that I would survive the procedure. So there's some fun information.
That's some cooler. That's cool information to know.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't like telling the story because I don't want to make it sound like that I'm like oh my gosh, it's so amazing, or you know, like tooting my own horn. But the reason I mention that is because I'm mentioning the tubes that were stuck down my throat. Whenever I was, you know, like the first few years old, and I was looking at like baby pictures with my mom or my dad, I would look at the pictures of me whenever I was basically in like this incubator, whenever they were basically trying to keep me alive. And
God, Tracy's half chicken.
I am. And so
Making me hungry.
don't eat me. Anyways, so with that, I remember I was looking at those pictures and I was like, what are those things down my throat? Are those like hoses? Which I guess technically I was correct. And in some ways, and I guess somehow like I ended up associating like vacuums with that, because obviously like this machine that kept me alive. So whenever I was really little, I would always like play with vacuums and stuff. I'd take them apart, I put them back together, and I'm talking since I was like maybe like 3 or 4. And then whenever I was 5 was when I actually did a full-on repair on a vacuum cleaner. It was my neighbor's Bissell Cleanview, and that was in 2005 or 6. And ever since then, I've been just randomly fixing vacuums.
You, Tracy? You're a millennial.
I'm Gen Z. I'm going to be turning 21 in a couple months.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm 2 generations. I'm Gen Xer. So.
How old are you?
All right. I'm 33.
You're a millennial. You are.
No, I'm a Generation X.
Okay, if you are Gen X, you're right on the very end of Gen
I'm
X,
right on the verge. I'm right on the
because
verge.
millennials 89 to 96, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. No,
Oh, so
I'm
you're
on
right.
the verge.
Okay, so you're barely Gen X.
Yeah, but my grandpa was in World War II.
Okay.
So like, yeah.
Well, that's nifty. Mine was too.
That's nifty.
Alright, so I think this is your love for machines, because when you got into vacuums, it was very different than when I got into vacuums.
Oh, for sure. Okay, I guess that was the end of that. So,
I guess that was the end of that. What's the story there?
But-
my reason is fucking completely different than any of you guys. Mine is just, I used to take a lot of shit apart when I was younger, and
yeah, it's kind of like what I did.
ads for
Yeah, I think we all
a lot
did.
of these machines. I used to see ads for a lot of this shit on TV when I was younger, so I thought, oh, what the hell is this? Why is it so much better than, what we have? That's all really.
Do you remember the old commercials for like the original bagged Bissell lift off thing, and like this person's like cleaning a dinosaur skeleton with it or something in a museum or whatever?
I haven't seen that commercial, but I've seen.
It's like it was. Again, I
Wait.
might be like misremembering it a bit, but it was something along that premise. But it was like for the very first Bissell liftoff or something.
Was it for the liftoff or was it for the
cool.
plus?
Huh?
Was it for the bagged liftoff or for the plus? Do you remember?
Good question. It was one of the liftoffs.
Well, yeah,
I'm watching one right now, but it's got a bunch of kids trying to.
Yeah, they're like
suck
they
up
like
the
they like
universe.
suck up the moon or something stupid like that.
Yeah, that's basically what's going on.
Yeah, I love old commercials like that. They're just so quirky.
I like seeing that people are dressed decently in old commercials. That's like not to sound like I'm not like ultra religious or anything, but it's like nice to see people like just dressed decently. They're not showing their belly button or have odd kinds of hair or something like that. It's nice to see just.
Well,
I remember people.
I would like to apologize for my unfortunately all too casual dress code this evening. My bad.
Oh, I don't care a shit about that. I'm wearing a t-shirt too. In fact, actually, I think I'm wearing a central. Yeah, I'm wearing a Central Vacuum shirt.
Central Vacuum
I'm
propaganda.
wearing a ugly ass blue MD shirt. But I'm more talking about that. You don't see people doing acts of degeneracy in ads. In the older ads.
What? Do they do that now?
Yeah, that's what Facebook groups in the forum.
Yeah, no. If you've ever seen like some of the Instagram ads, they're really degenerate.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about TV ads.
Well, that's what ads are now. I mean, I'm not sure who still like has a TV or watches like network TV. I'm not sure that's.
I'd probably be the only person in here that.
The only reason I have cable is because my fiance insisted on us adding it to our internet package. Otherwise, I would not have cable.
I wouldn't ever have anything to watch.
No, yeah, I don't pay for it. I told him I was like, if you're gonna get cable, you're paying for it because I will never watch it. I watch Nicktoons Network like once every two months, and that's it.
So
because I like
Tracy,
Nicktoons Network. What?
I'm looking through your comments a little bit here.
Oh, yeah,
why
I
do people
keep.
call you Tracy?
Oh, well, people just call me Tracy because that's the name of my persona. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, that's your name of your furry persona. So
Yeah.
You have a fursuit.
Furry persona.
As opposed
No,
to
I
my
don't.
human persona.
If I
Furries are people.
if I can't
Hey!
if I cannot afford an $800 SIBO, what makes you think I can commission a $2,500 fursuit? Answer that.
Well,
Made in China fursuits.
Well, I'm just thinking maybe you want a fursuit instead of a decent vacuum cleaner.
Oh, no. Well, because honestly, the furry fandom is a dumpster fire wasteland, and the only reason I'm even in it was because I designed my one character one random day whenever I was depressed, and then I just had a couple friends, do some art for him, and that's it. I haven't done anything else.
We all know the real reason why you're in it is because you're a huge juggalo, and that's why.
The fuck is a juggalo?
Oh, you figured out my secret.
Isn't that Okay, I was about to ask a really stupid question, but I don't want to because I don't want it to be wrong. What is a juggalo? Yiff and hell for fags.
I just said yip and hell. I didn't didn't say that. I didn't say that word. That word's a
No, I did.
Mama Susan.
No, I did.
Demonetized.
No, look.
Sorry.
Look.
How was a place though? So we were talking about a place. We weren't talking about
more
the swear.
That's
don't
true.
Say the
Well-
other F word. You're gonna get banned for that.
Somebody was like, ooh.
Susan is not going to hold my feet to the fire in that regard. If she has any,
She's gonna hold your fucking nutsack because you dared say the other F word.
if she has any I assure you, if she has any problems, okay, first off, I'm a fag. I can call other people fags. Okay, we'll get that out of the way. Anyways,
No,
so
that's illegal in certain countries now. Can't do that anymore.
okay,
Get canceled.
all joking aside, I preface this by saying all joking aside, if Susan ever has a problem with me, she'll tell me whenever we go bowling. So I don't need to worry about that because she knows that, again, I'm not responsible for anything that any of you guys say or for what I say for that matter in these streams,
Trace,
apparently.
Did she
So-
ever offer? Did she ever do advances towards you? I think she's a bit too. I think she wants to be a bit more than. friendly.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think.
She's a lot more friendly with you than she's ever been with me.
No, well, I think it's just because she's not into redheads.
Oh,
But,
okay. It's because of the ginger. I get it.
Yeah,
That's fair.
because she,
That's it.
I mean, which doesn't make any sense because she has no soul. So you would think she'd be attracted to people who have no soul, but apparently it's very counterintuitive. But
Oh, okay.
as far as her having any
opposite
advances
attract.
on me, the only advance that she's ever really got any done is that one time she bought me one of those big platters of different very fancy types of cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory, and I don't know if she was flirting with me, but I think she might have been. But I'm really bad at reading the room, so I never really bothered. So I never bothered to yeah.
Oh,
Chance, you have complained about your teeth and back, yet you continue to drink 12 packs of pop a day. I don't drink 12 packs of pop a day. Okay, first
Well,
off,
people get
it's
that
not pop,
impression
it's
with the
soda.
background.
What?
Well, look at what's in the background. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bottles.
Ah.
I
I don't know what you're.
Fucking I missed something in the stream.
I Oh God, is that your actual laugh, Alex? It's as bad as mine. Oh my God. Anyways, I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing over there, so I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. Did Chance just literally fall on nothing?
He turned
No.
down his dignity.
Well, no, because I just bought two. In all seriousness, I just bought two things, big things of laundry soap, and I didn't see them on the floor, so I tripped over them.
Well, at least you're not drinking that.
Yeah.
Hey, what you got against people that drink laundry soap?
Nothing because
Is
they're
that a
not
protected
here
group
anymore.
now? Is that a
I
protected
drink
group
gallons
now?
of that shit every
Wait, I mean,
every
laundry
summer.
soap kills the COVID, so yeah.
Hey, it really does. No, laundry soap and plus that Lysol laundry sanitizer afterwards.
That sterile smell.
Oh, okay. Let's go back to some of the comments. Well, first off, I think I might have addressed the super chat, but I didn't read the caption. Dylan super chatted $5. Alex said to, and I'm just bored. So here you go. Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate that. And he also said I'm going to film an updated collection video soon. I actually just filmed the first half of my collection video for the current times. So I will at some point upload that, but I have to do, because half my collection is still at my dad's house and the other half is at my new house. So I got to do it separately, unless I squish both the videos
Yeah,
together.
so
But if I
pick
did, it'd be
your
3
shit
hours
up.
long. What?
Said, yeah, son, come pick your shit up.
Are
Well,
you winging it, son?
I've gotten it to the point where it's all out of like the dining room and all that stuff, so he doesn't really care about it anymore. He's not really worried about it. So and he knows that I just, that there's just reasons I can't bring it all here yet. So
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm just watching one of your latest videos, and I noticed something.
what?
What the fuck? I noticed this.
What?
I'm gonna post this in the server.
What?
This is funny as hell.
Yeah, post this to the Discord.
I'm so what? What are you referring to?
I don't know if you want to know.
Hold on.
I don't think anything in my video should be bad.
Oh, no.
Did I make like an off-color joke or something? What are you trying to cancel me? What happened?
Nobody's trying to cancel you.
Oh.
Not
So
I probably would have
looking
done.
through your videos real quick. I see that is a hiccup. I see the Amway clear track.
Yeah.
What are your opinion? Like, just as we're not going to talk about the actual vacuum or its build quality or anything. What do you feel about using the Amway clear track?
It's heavy.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
It's well built.
It is. That thing's a tank. So
I'll buy your entire stock.
no, mine.
Oh.
I will say, look, while I do like my Phantoms more than this is objectively a better machine. So, because it does, yeah, I know, stating the obvious, right? It cleans better. It's the cord's better, the build quality is better. The filtration is, well, I don't know. It's kind of because the Phantoms, all the Phantoms that I have, except the Lightning, don't have pre-motor filters. But then this doesn't have a post-motor filter, so I don't know if that evens it out or what. But at least it means there's less dust going through into the motor. So then versus like a Fury or a Thunder. So that's probably a wash. The hose is obviously worse, but I mean, there's not really much. I guess maybe it's easier to get to as far as using the hose. If you're not actually wanting to have a wand, it's better in that regard. First off, the biggest thing, you can still get parts for it, and you can still buy them, so that's nice. So, because this thing, the cord is kind of, cut a little bit on some areas. It's taped up right now. It's not a big deal, but I could get a new cord if I wanted to. At some point, I'll be getting a new bin, because I don't even know where that part was. I just dropped it. My fiance used it the other day, and he tried to pull the bin off, and he snapped the bin part off. Yeah. I mean, if he wants to.
So that's unusual for collectors. Usually the collector, the fiance, or the significant other does not vacuum.
There are some machines that I don't want him to use. But this clear track, I know it can handle him using it. Although apparently not, because he did snap the handle off the bin. But
I don't know about you guys, but in my house, it's fucking mandatory for the ladies to do the fucking cleaning.
I just said vacuuming. I was not referring to cleaning.
Well, yeah,
my
because
wife does like using head record.
Because debatably with all the vacuums I have, very rarely do I do any actual cleaning.
Oh,
I'm like
actual cleaning.
I'm like the complete opposite. Like, I have a hard time trying to make sure I use all of my machines somewhat regularly.
Well, yeah. Well, don't get me wrong. I have over 100 machines, so the idea of using them all regularly is ridiculous. I counted at my new house, I have 84 vacuums, and that was before I got the current lot from the vacuum store that includes the clear track and the Dial-O-Matic and all that. And then at my dad's house, I don't remember how many I have, but I have like probably a little bit less than that.
Yeah, you have 100 machines. That's probably 25 good ones and about 80 or so shit ones.
Yep. And then a couple that are so-so.
I mean, I think out of my collection, I probably have about 10 or 15 machines that are just scrap. They're just parts machines, and then the rest of everything is about half of it's been restored. Or no, I'd say more like 3/4 of it's been restored lately.
Oh, also, there's this lovely meme. Everyone give him a supper chat. I just ate, so no thank you.
Did
I
I say
was gonna
supper? It
say,
says-
what, you want a bowl of fucking soup? Is that what you want?
Are
Yeah,
we at the soup store?
the soup store.
Oh, god damn it.
Whenever I open a vacuum store, I'll sell soup as well. It'll be the vacuum and soup store.
Instead of a vacuum stove, it's gonna be a vacuum soup.
Yes. Although, like,
You see-
in all
you see,
seriousness,
you should-
if I
see, that's not too far off. That's not too far off the vacuum souk idea that I had a while ago. It's not hard to figure out what the souk represents.
I used to work at a vacuum/razor store.
Razor.
like electric razors.
Blades, razor scooters, razor
Like
phone.
electric razors. Like electric
Ah.
razors. They used to
Wow.
repair them back in the day, apparently. And I thought it was a
Well-
joke when they said they fixed electric razors when I had the interview.
Well, I will say my local vac store, the two main things that he does are vacuums and trains. So he
He does trains, like model trains.
yes, he sells,
That's cool.
fixes, and
That's
deals
cool.
model trains. It's really cool. I gotta tell you, like, if 10-year-old me had walked into that shop, I would have probably pissed myself because I loved trains when I was a kid. And here's the thing, I used to collect these. They weren't like actual like locomotives. They were
Tracy,
toys.
have you been to the Illinois Railroad Museum?
I have not, but I did used to go
You need to go there
to.
before you die.
Okay, I did go
You need
to
to
a similar thing in Kansas City, but I forgot which one. I forgot what it was called. Is it
This is
Union
25
Station?
acres of trains, though.
Oh, okay, so that's different than what I'm thinking of.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge. They all move, and they move them around. You can like ride like 10 different ones at one time.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I'm not like. I'm not like a train collector or anything anymore. I think they're neat, but I mean, I'm not like obsessed with them like I was when I was a kid. Did anyone else ever have? Obviously, I probably one of the younger ones here, but I don't know. No one else seems to have heard of these. But whenever I was little, like through the entire time they sold them, they had these toy trains. They were called Geotracks, and I don't know if anybody had those, but I used to have
Geo-trackers.
what?
Remember Geo-trackers?
No,
Yo, I
Geotracks.
want one of those.
Nobody seems to
Maybe
remember
all
them,
over.
even though they were really popular, which is really weird.
No, you're thinking of the samurai. That was the one everybody rolled over.
They're the same thing,
The
essentially.
tracker was
They're
based
the
on
same
the.
car. The Samurai is slightly better made. It has GM
Damn it.
involved.
Alex, no, they're not the same thing. The
They're the
Oh.
same thing.
The tracker was based off the sidekick, which was awesome.
The sidekick. Oh my god, yeah.
What?
Samurai
The T-Mobile
was-
sidekick?
Also, I googled this train thing that
Yeah, the
you
Geo
had as a kid. It's like a more modern Brio train.
Yeah, they're just like little toy trains that run off AAA batteries. You got these like snap together tracks. They don't make them anymore, and like the last time they were making them, like I got again throughout the majority of my childhood, even when I was arguably too old, I still had them because I got them when they first came out in like 03, and then up until like maybe 08 or 09, I still had them. And I don't know where I had like thousands of dollars of those sets. I could build like entire cities of them. It was crazy, but that entire collection.
Holy fuck!
Well, just because I had so many pieces, I had so many sets, I had so many engines. I had probably like a good 10 trains, and then like a bunch of the starter packs.
Selling a Geo tracker for $8,000.
They're actually really collectible now. Like like those sets actually go for a good amount on eBay, but I don't know where my
No, he's
kits
talking
are.
about Geo-trackers.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Geo. Oh no, I'm not. I'm not talking about the trackers.
You're talking about the Brio train knockoff, yeah.
I don't know if it's a not. It's Fisher Price. I don't know if it's a not. Well, I guess Fisher Price could be a knockoff. I don't know.
No,
I'm not.
no.
I'm unfamiliar with that train, so I can't really comment on it.
It's like a wooden train set that was made forever. They probably don't make.
Well, these ones were plastic, but they were actually like really
That's why I called it a
durable.
knockoff.
You're phrasing that, Alex, because there probably is a few people that get wood from trains.
Okay, I'm talking about Brio, B-R-I-O. You know that?
Braille, like Braille,
Yeah,
but Braille.
B-R-I-O.
Is there a version called Braille? Is that the one where the train like speaks to you and tells you where it's going?
Yeah, no, there's not. But these were like expensive wooden toys. Like they're like $340 a set.
Oh yeah, no, the Geotracks
$100
weren't that
for a
much.
smaller set. Yeah,
The Geotracks were like they were like $100 for like the starter sets.
Imagine asking somebody for tree fitty and then answering them with, oh, what you gonna do with that tree fitted? And then it's a
A
fucking.
Loch Ness monster.
I need to use it for fucking model trains.
Hey, I need that tree fitty so I can buy this Karcher that I see online.
I forgot you lived in Illinois. I was there a week ago. Like Thomas the Tank? Yeah, like Thomas the Tank Engine. They did have Thomas the Tank Engine Rio sets for a while.
Thomas, I did have a Thomas set as well, but I never used it because honestly, the Thomas thing just creeps me out. Like having a face on a train. Does anyone remember the plain version of that with?
No, but have you ever seen Diesel Patches?
JJ, what?
You ever see the YouTube channel Diesel Patches?
Never heard of it.
Diesel, like Kevin Nash, that Diesel.
Okay, let me get to some comments now.
Like we're gonna here. I'll put it in the chat.
I only said that because it doesn't look at the chats anyways. Let's see. Get a Bissell 3-in-1 turbo. Piece of shit, haha. Don't act like we don't see that cordless Hoover floor mate. Oh yeah, that's
a Bissell Crosswave. What the fudge?
No, it's not. It's a Hoover. It's a Hoover 1-power floor mate thingy.
Even worse.
It's 2 in the morning.
It's actually not bad. I got it for only $70 on clearance, so I can't complain. They're normally like 200.
I'll say what I want to.
Fair enough. But
first, you have to tell us what you're drinking.
I have a raspberry flavored gin, and I made a lemon drop with it.
See, this is what happens when you fix vacuums. It will cause you to drink.
Oh, I drank before. Well, no, that's not. Do you mean professionally fixing vacuums, or just doing it at?
No, professionally fixing vacuums.
how would you define professional? Because
yeah,
I mean, you could argue that any of us aren't doing it professionally.
No, I couldn't argue. If you have to be getting a paycheck.
I'm getting
Yeah,
a paycheck
so I mean, if you fix,
a company, or you have to be incorporated and running said company.
you don't have to be incorporated. You just said if you're getting a paycheck. If someone's paying you to fix something, that's professional. That's commercial. Yeah, it's not through a company, but I mean, right? But yeah, it's definitely more professional if you have like the corporate backing, so to speak. But you know, I'm sure there's different levels of professionalism, but I'd like to think that I'm semi-professional.
No, you're not.
Anyways, so
I wish we had Dr. Schwinkelmeiner in here.
that's how you pronounce that. Okay.
Yes, Dr. Schwinkel. Don't you worry, Dr. Schwinkelmeiner is here.
That sounds like one of those like doctor's office parodies.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Absolutely is.
Mason said, "Lol, how to piss off Alex? Put a Fanta in the background." I don't think he's mad about that.
No, I'm not mad. I said it's not my house.
Exactly. Well, it's not my house either. I rent.
You piss him off by getting him a gift card to the Dyson store.
Honestly, last time I walked in the Dyson store, they gave me a free floor tool.
Oh.
Aw, that's nice.
Wait, Dyson has actual stores like Apple does?
Yeah, they have a few.
Oh wow.
Claustrophobic in there.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, so are like the Orc stores too. I remember those. Were usually pretty claustrophobic whenever I would go there.
Those are vacuum stores in general. Most of the Orc stores.
Oh yeah.
I should say some of the Orc stores went out of business. Some of them became what they call multi-line stores, where they just became these big. They sell every brand of vacuum.
I will not have any Oryx slander in this VC.
I like Oric. I don't mind
If
it.
you're gonna get an Orc, why don't you just get a Supralite?
Because I think the Orc brush roller does a better job of grooming carpet, and I like the tone of the Orc motor better than the Supralite.
I do like the tone more.
That's fair.
Well, I mean the
Those are my points on that.
21s do like the 21s and newer perform pretty well, and the older Orcs are just kind of like eh.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The 21.
Yeah.
The XL 21s are the.
Yeah, the 21s and the Platinums, which are basically just 21s.
I really prefer the Supralite bag dock system. Like,
Yeah.
Docking?
Which Superlight docking system? They've had like
the newest one, the green
slide in.
Yeah,
that's a good improvement. It's a good improvement. What I don't like is that Jaconi, they didn't put separate letters. So now if you ask for bags for a Brilliance, there's two different vacuum bags the customer
Yep.
would be talking about.
We
It's
had
so
that-
confusing.
Yeah, and
We
then
had that the
every
other day. It was
whenever you
really
say that,
awkward.
every like budget brand is like hold my beer because they'll use, you know, your Eureka, Dirt Devil, Bissell will, Hoover will take the same name and slap it on 1,400 different vacuums.
Yeah, but if they all use the same letter system, Taconi just abandoned their letter system and went to
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that is pretty annoying.
undocumented vacuum bags.
Well, it seems like particularly bad.
Duh,
with the
vacuum
tandem
bags
machines,
vacuum
because
bags
it's like,
seeking
is it
asylum.
a cardboard collar? Is it a colored collar? Which colored collar is it for your machine? And it's like, why couldn't you just put the same bag in the tandem airs?
I don't understand
Yeah.
why the Brilliance and the Radiance don't use the same bag at all. I cannot understand that.
It
at all.
makes no sense. It's not bigger.
Yeah, because otherwise it's really annoying because then if the customer wants to get the proper one, they basically just have to bring in their machine and find the one that friggin' fits. It's so annoying.
Yeah, and then you had SIBO, who for a while used the exact same bag in their uprates and canisters, which was fucking amazingly weird.
Oh, the C, the Airbelt C.
Yes, I have a C 3.1. I want to get it myself, and the Airbelt K is the same way as well.
I used to have a C, and then I gave it to a friend when I was
No.
young and stupid. They still
Yeah.
have it. They still have it. They still take good care of it, so at least there's that.
Occasionally, a C1 will appear on eBay, and I'm always tempted, but it's never complete.
Yeah, like there was that teal green colored one for a while.
So the C and the C1, the motor orientation is slightly different.
Really?
Yeah, they're actually different vacuums, so they look the same.
Yeah.
That's weird. Is it because like the handle control power versus the little spinny dial thing?
I have no idea why. I have to take a C1 apart before I can tell you why. But I can tell you from looking at Rogers, one of the first Rogers videos is on a C1, and it's the way the motor is in there is different than my C3.
That's weird.
Roger mean Ibasiak.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah.
Just the C1 is. I love that they use that bag, especially because it's a fairly large bag in a canister.
And it's a proven bag. And the same with the SIBO K. Like, why the hell did they I don't understand. Like, I understand the E and the D4 bag, but like, really, they were doing so good by only having one bag for a long time.
Yeah, I think the reason for moving away from the K, and this is just an opinion, I have no fucking clue for real why, but I think it's just the offset hose was just too weird for too many people.
Yeah, but they could have just put an elbow in the back dock and made that work. But no, that's exactly why. But I have to say the E series maneuvers really well. It's one of the best driving bags.
Yes, it does. I do adore my E series, and the bag is a little bit. It's either the same size or a little bit bigger than a GN bag? Question mark.
I think it's about the same size, but the GN bag keeps shrinking. The Vila bags keep shrinking. That is a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know why they should just charge more for bags and shrink the bags.
I feel like there's not that big a difference between the FJM and the GN. Like
there isn't anymore. There really isn't anymore. There used to be a big difference. It used to be if you threw one in the other, the machine would malfunction.
Yeah. So, like,
have an error? Damn it.
Every time a customer's like, "Oh, well, this one's a bigger bag, right?" And I'm just like, "Yeah."
And it was messed up because the S2000 was originally designed for the FJM bag, but in order to compete with the Kenmores, they put the GN bag in it.
Oh, the C1 Classic?
Yeah, that's why the C1 S2000 has the GN bag.
Gotcha. That one, I'm not 100%, like, is that one's filtration, or no, maybe not filtration, the seal.
No, it's a misprint. It's a misprint. So here's what happened: is the exhaust filter is sealed by the HEPA filter, and the motor's in its own separate area. But they claim it's not a sealed system because there's no gasket around the bag housing, because it doesn't need it to the plastic molds together.
Gotcha.
So that's why they don't say that. But really, as far as why they would even differentiate in literature, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because that air's all getting filtered by the exhaust filter anyway.
It's all going through the HEPA filter, and if you take one of those things apart, first of all, they're folded together. They're really cool how they're put together, but they're also a pain to take apart.
Yes.
But from a manufacturing point of view, the pedals and a dial are all the same piece that have been snapped together, and they all interlock. It's very genius the way it's put together, but again, it's not meant to be serviced. It's meant to be a budget machine.
Mm-hmm.
And in Europe, you would get that for 120, 150 euros.
Right, and here even here, if you get the base model with just the flip-flop tool, I mean, it's still pretty affordable, and the flip-flop tool's not the worst tool.
I've never heard it called the flip-flop tool. That's why. That's what you call it. Yeah.
I always call it the flip. I know that's not his name, but it's just that's what it makes me think of.
That's funny. I might start using that. It's funny.
It might be the Michigander in me.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, they're affordable. The straight suction, and I think the C1 with the turbo is like that machine will clean a lot of people's houses. Like if you had an apartment, that's a
Just get fucking sniped. I just heard a loud.
Oh, I dropped my phone on my desk, and that was. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No. Nobody has a sniper rifle.
I would like try to drop my phone on my desk to be silly, but I don't know where I put my phone case, so I don't want to do it with no case. Even though I'm sure it'll be fine.
Live life on the edge.
Tracy's already pushing it. He's got the exploding phone.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I got since that Note 7 that you saw in the picture, I was able to get my Note 9 fixed. As far as the firmware issue that it had, so I'm back to using my Note 9, because why would I use the 7 if the 9's obviously better? But I do still have my 7 as like a backup phone, so basically it's just whenever my 9's charging, I'll use the 7, like for like Discord and all the all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So
I have one phone and I try not to use it. I try to use a real computer whenever possible.
yeah, well, I mean, because I don't do any because I usually don't use Discord on my computer, just because if I'm using it on my phone, I can just walk around and still like message people and stuff. But
yeah, I use it on my.
Yeah.
I do use Discord on my phone, but I don't do like video editing or anything like.
Oh yeah, I actually do video editing on my phone usually, just because what?
I said, haha, you said doo-doo.
Ooh.
Anyways,
I use a proper computer.
well, I do as well, but it just depends on what type of video. Like if I'm just clipping something together, then doing it on my computer versus my phone won't make a difference. But if I'm actually doing like
You
complex
shoot on your
stuff,
phone, don't you?
yeah, so it's just easier to.
You never have any
What?
depth of field in your videos.
I need the webcam on.
Ouch.
Oh, shooting.
Hold on one sec.
Well, I mean, it's not. I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as just an observation.
Yeah.
Let's
All right, you're
not
good now.
shoot too. You don't want to injure each other.
Sorry, I moved the coffee table. Hopefully it's not. Here, let me move it so you don't stumble over it.
Oh, look at that.
Oh. Your picture's the biggest.
My picture is the biggest. So,
Ugh.
Captain Spaulding, he's a serial killer clown.
As if all clowns aren't serial killers.
Look at all those furry servers. By God.
Yeah, you can see them all.
I feel very called out right now.
I feel bad about the fact.
I'm not even in half of them anymore. I just leave them there because I don't bother to leave them.
Wait, are you using Windows Vista?
No, Windows 7. The Discord app doesn't run on Vista. And Microsoft just blocked all the updates on Vista and older, so I can't use it anymore anyways. My main PC runs Windows 10, but this is my backup PC.
Why does your backup PC run Windows 7?
Because I installed Windows 7 on it. That's a dumb question.
Windows 7 is discontinued too, and like.
I don't care.
Security black hole, dude.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's the security updates don't make that much of a difference. At least if you actually know what you're doing. Plus, if I wanted to, I could install the patch on here that would give me updates until 2023. I just don't bother. Because well, and I have Malwarebytes, I have Glasswire, I have plenty of I used to use Komodo antivirus, but now I just use Microsoft Security Essentials because Malwarebytes get everything that it doesn't catch anyways. So it's fine. I haven't had any issues with it. What?
As someone that has that's grown up in a heavy IT background, I used to hear all the time that Komodo was absolute shit.
Well, the main reason I just stopped using Komodo because I've used a bunch of antiviruses over the years. I've used Avast, I used Bitdefender, I used Komodo. The main reason I just stopped using them all is just because they were just kind of overkill, and I have Malwarebytes, and I just run that every once in a while. I've never gotten an actual virus on any of my computers.
Bytes has turned into like an actual antivirus now. Like, it runs in the background.
Yeah. Well, that's only if you get the paid version. I have the one where I just run it every once in a while, so I have Security Essentials or Defender, depending on which version of Windows you have, just running in the background and scanning, and then I'll run Malwarebytes once in a while. And then I have Glasswire, which is my firewall, so if anything on the network looks like it's doing something stupid, I can just shut it down. And that's been perfectly fine. So, obviously on Windows 8 and 10, you don't have to install Security Essentials because it's built in. It's just all under Defender. But on 7, you still got to actually download Security Essentials.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into my particular setups there, but
Why not?
Because that's more my speed.
well, I have my own router software running.
Mm-hmm.
It's special. We'll call it special.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Windows. I have most of the stuff turned off on Windows. You want to take Windows and you want to give it a good risk.
Well, if it's Windows 10, yeah, definitely.
Well, no, any version of Windows, you want to snip all those background services, turn all that crap off, make sure it doesn't launch.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's just the worst on 10.
Don't smell right with your Windows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I've got it. I have Norton's
Ew.
Enterprise. No, hold up. I have an Enterprise edition. It's not the consumer thing.
Ugh.
I don't like that. I don't actually use that anymore, but I do have a copy of that.
I mean, I have a copy of Norton, but I don't use it because it's Norton 2003, and plus it's Norton.
Yeah. And I use Windows 10 really only to play games.
Yeah.
To do video editing. I have a dual boot system, and I boot into Ubuntu to do any sort of sketchy things.
Oh, yeah.
You guys want to talk about fucking antiviruses? Here's some shit you need. You want to talk about the greatest antivirus of all time?
Is it
McAfee?
There you fucking go. That's what you need.
Yeah.
McAfee.
Yeah, dude, we need more
The
fucking
Virus Terminator.
Virus. Yeah, that's one of those.
You need a Verilux would be the other one.
Yeah.
The what?
The Verilux. It was an AEG canister with a UV light head.
Oh, so speaking of weird canisters, and I don't even know if it's still made, the most recent, what is it, the Eris Platinum Lux or whatever, that has both pre and post motor HEPA filters?
HEPA filters, yeah.
Why? Question mark?
Why not?
I think they were trying to outdo the competition.
They're like, we got you a filter to filter your filter.
Yes. Basically, they consulted Exhibit on their filter design.
If that thing doesn't blow a 0, I would be livid.
Yeah.
I've got a friend who has one of those, and it's...
I need to get a particle counter. I want to
Please tell
test
me
these
he didn't-
Phantoms
or
and
they didn't
see
pay,
how
full
shitty
price
they
for
do.
it.
No, he paid wholesale distributor cost or whatever because he knew the distributor.
Okay, because they're expensive.
Oh, that's my problem with every door-to-door vacuum is I don't think there's one of them that's really worth more than $1,000 or $1,500.
Oh, I wouldn't even go that far.
When people ask me things like, "Oh, do you think a Kirby's worth it?" and I'm like, "Okay, maybe for like."
The answer is no. The answer is
no.
Kirby is worth $25.
Never buy one of those for full price. I have known far too many people who have gotten scammed by that shit. And whenever you try and offer them a better machine, their fucking response is always, "Oh, but I spent $1,400."
Yeah, but you shouldn't have. That's the problem.
It has to be the best. Expensive does not mean that it's good.
And honestly, I really think a modern straight suction canister will outclean, if we're not talking about pet hair removal, will outclean just about anything out of it.
Well, honestly, if you
It
have a house
depends.
that a straight suction machine can do well in, why the hell do you have a Kirby?
Honestly.
Like,
But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, my basement carpet, it's low enough that it really a Henry would be more than adequate, or
Oh yeah.
a Milo would be more than adequate straight suction.
as I said,
Have you
if you
seen
have a house that a straight suction could do well in, why do you have a Kirby?
have you seen Alex, or I guess anyone in this chat? Have you guys seen my like slightly older videos where I'm at my dad's house with that really big, thick like '70s carpet?
Like
No.
shag.
Yeah, like
But I
the
have
really
soft
big
carpet
shad.
in most of my house.
Yeah.
So
Well, no, I
most
mean
bathrooms
my
don't
living
have
room is
stairs.
is soft carpet too, but it's not like as nearly thick of a pile as that kind of carpet. And let me tell you, trying to find something to vacuum that is a chore in of itself.
When I say soft carpet, I mean soft carpet refers to a certain type of dense tall carpet.
Right,
It's like
but
it's like what they used to call shag.
right.
It's now
This
called
is
soft
like
carpet,
yeah,
shag.
this kind I'm referring to is like double shag if that's a thing. Cuz it's a very
You mean
very
set
thick
your
carpet.
dial-a-nap all the way up.
Set it to 11.
I don't know why the dial-a-naps go way too high. I don't know, because my soft carpet is like a 4 on that thing. I don't know what would be like taller than that.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, and it makes sense because I mean that Dial-O-Matic it would be about the age of that carpet, so I really need to take that over to my dad's house and see how it does on that carpet.
It's
Well,
just weird because even the new ones still go up pretty high, and it's just like, this
Yeah,
is a
they do.
commercial machine. What commercial environment requires this?
Well, again,
Uh.
the sanitaires thankfully have really died off, and that style of machine has died off from the commercial environment so much. Like almost every hotel or anywhere I go, it's a Windsor upright of some sort, or one of those kind of
yeah.
bypassed.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. God damn it.
Well,
I'm
those
gonna miss
belts.
those.
So I daily drove one of those yellow Eureka machines, and I had an ST bag. I had retrofitted on it. I daily
Eureka
drove
tear?
One of the Eureka Sam's Club exclusive commercial machines.
The yellow one.
Yeah, Eureka Tear. I daily drove one of those for a long time, and I would change the belt every 2 weeks in my small little apartment. Like, that thing just chewed belts, and I put a new pulley on it and everything. So
Yeah, they're notorious for eating through belts.
yeah, and after that, that's when I built myself a Milo with a 217 nozzle because I had such low pile carpet.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Those are one of those machines that I kind of don't want them to die off, since, yeah.
The
they're
F and
a little
Gs?
bit- Yeah, they're an aging machine, but for me, it's one of those machines that has really stood the test of time.
Yeah.
But
If you think about it, those things are pretty ahead of their time with shit like the dial-a-nap and it going super high on the carpets and shit. And a lot of those.
the problem is they're not consistent. Like when Eureka sold off when Eureka Sanitaire, I don't even know how to describe that business move that happened. When those companies split and went their separate ways, those brush rollers were never the same. Those motors, when they brought that motor to China, I guess it was when it was still when Electrolux or AEG was involved. They were just never
Sanitaire
the
by
same.
Electrolux.
Yeah, they just never, when they went to that newer style motor, they just have never been the same. I don't know what the amperage is. I never pay attention to what the amperage or the wattage is because it's irrelevant.
Oh right.
Kind
Yeah.
of is, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like so I used to have like a Pullman Holt, like 4510 or whatever, like the small commercial like not small, but the 10-gallon commercial canister thing, like shop vac, and it was only rated to like 1,000 watts or something, but it was essentially just a central vac motor in there, and that thing pulled. And then I've also used 1,200 watt regular uprights that just don't have that power. So yeah, the wattage power just.
Yeah, and how many watts is your SIBO E machine? Have you looked?
I will tell you just here in a moment.
It's surprisingly small. The modern Henrys are only like 650 watts, and they pull so much power. There's so much power there.
Because those are machines that have been designed around being cuffed by the EU standards.
Well, I have to say I appreciate the engineering on efficiency, but I don't want to be cucked by the EU. Fuck the EU.
Fuck them.
Fuck that. And, when I went to China and visited my parents-in-law, we bought my wife's mother a C3, a 2,000 watt C3, and that thing, I had to turn the suction down when I was using the hard floor tool because it stuck to the floor too hard.
So I'd love to tell you, but believe it or not, it actually doesn't tell the wattage on this machine. It just says 120 volt, 60 hertz, 10 amp. So I'm gonna assume that it's a 10 amp, so probably 1,000 watts.
No, it's like 600 and some change or 800.
Really?
Yeah. It's the E series was designed around the cuck regulations we were all talking about.
Ah.
Yeah.
Either way, I found that it's got plenty of power. Like
That's my point. Like the power, just like light bulbs, pay attention to the lumens, not how much power it's consuming.
Yeah, so I guess pay attention to air watts if a vacuum has that rating, or just look at the CFM/water lift.
Yeah, water lift. And like I've said before, for my audience, I use working vacuum, but
Yeah.
Tracy's looking at his 12 amp machine.
It's well, obviously
So-
I know it's 12 amps, like no shit, but it's I was looking at it, was
Well,
just
my Milas are all 10 amps.
120 volts. Well, yeah, I do have one of the 10 amp ones of these, but
And your Oric would be like 4.5 amps.
something like
If you
that.
ever want to get a kilowatt now to like plug machines in and test, because like I've also noticed at work we have like a test meter thing that shows amperage, and most of the time a machine will only draw its like max amperage when you first start it, and then it kind of hovers down lower. Like a lot of the 12 amp machines, they'll hover around like somewhere in the 8 to 10 amp range.
Remember the Hoovers that had the turbo surge button?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
I came across.
Maximum power.
I almost bought a concept one with one of those on it, but the switches were, when I went to go test it, the switches were all completely frozen shut. Like at all.
Believe it or not, if you spray some electrical cleaner in there, they usually free right up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
I'm getting a concept one pretty soon. I'm just waiting for the dude to find a box for it.
So fun little rainbow story. We had an E-Series in the shop the other day, the 2-speed, and we had an interesting little issue where the power nozzle wasn't coming on, and we eventually narrowed it down to there's the little relay contact on the circuit board that wasn't activating. So this machine was well out of warranty, so we were kind of like, well, we don't want to have to try to quote the customer a new circuit board because we can't get that. So we removed, we used a soldering gun.
You guys
soldering iron.
aren't friendly with the rainbow dealer?
No. Which,
yeah.
I know, weird.
I've never seen a rainbow dealer.
But
I know several. I've got a good friend who's a rainbow dealer on the East Coast. I can call him.
I did have one friend do a rainbow demo in my house.
Dealer. I mean, an actual dealer can get wholesale parts. I'm not talking about somebody who's part of the pyramid scam.
Well, yeah. I figure. Oh no, he was part of the pyramid scam. We knew we were gonna buy it, but basically, my stepmom's friend was like, "Hey, can you do this? Because we'll get a commission or something, even if you don't buy it." We're just like, we have nothing to do on a Saturday. Why not? And my dad and I still have running jokes from that presentation.
Yeah.
It's a horrible presentation.
He tried to do that thing where he puts the end of the nozzle on his hand, seals it, and there's a penny on his hand, and he tried to do the thing where they're like, oh well, it's sealed, so it's not gonna pick up the penny, but if he does it from the side, it sucks up the penny. He's like, see, it's all about airflow. So then my dad and I have a running joke where anytime we talk about vacuums, we're like, it's all about airflow, man.
That's what was the boomer shop that got posted the other day where the guy starts talking about airflow and he's talking about sanitaire and shit? What was that shit?
Are you talking about
Did you see that video?
the one where the guy's selling the sanitaire to the people with that shot motor Bissell and that with the couple with the terrible with the god awful acting? Yeah.
But no, seriously, you'll meet people like that, or Mr. Vacuum Labs is like that. He's like, it's all about airflow.
The under the carpet test.
It's all about the air.
Yeah, the under the carpet test. I got bad news for you. I got it's Model 30 that will do that.
Well,
But,
yeah, I don't
but yeah,
doubt
real
that.
quick with that relay thing, we used a soldering iron to remove the relay from the board, used a battery to just trigger it a crap ton of times. It just turned out the contacts were like fouled. Put it back in the board and it worked, and we're like, oh good, now we don't have to try to figure out what to do as far as the circuit board,
What
because
is that backlab motherfucker up to right now?
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You actually
yeah.
need to repair.
Yeah,
Actual honest, you gotta repair, not just a
most of the
Yeah,
credit
not
to
just
that
swapping
would go
apart.
to our lead sewing tech. Like, he's our Bernina guy and everything, but he was just like, oh, let's try this, and it's like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's see what happens. Worst case
Give that guy a
scenario.
raise.
I know the creature you speak of. I know the creature you speak of.
Actually,
The old Bernina tech, yes.
well, it's funny because he's like 33.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's been working on at our shop for over 10 years though. So
Yeah.
like all he does is sewing machines anymore.
I've been to the Bernina training. Like, I'm good. I don't like doing sewing machine repair.
I don't mind it some days, because some days it's nice to just sit over there and not get covered in stuff and kind of just...
Yeah, it's cleaner work, but it's if you have to retime a machine, like where I used to work, we used to take all the machines, strip them completely down, retime them every time, and that was just...
Oh, no, we never time a machine unless it actually needs it, because a lot of the machines will get in for, like, yes, we have our Berninas and stuff, but most of the time we're getting in, like, Brothers and Singers.
Oh, no, everything we would just do.
Yeah.
If you ever get a Bernina in what they call a carriage machine, one of the ones from the 80s, where you have to pull the whole bottom section out just to lubricate it and stick it back in, no, fuck that. Fuck that. I do not need to spend 2 hours on one machine.
Yeah.
It's not going in my collection.
That's fair, but...
Even if it's going in my
sometimes
collection, I
it's
won't
just
spend
nice
2
to
hours
sit
on
over,
it.
But yeah, so that was cool to actually get that to work and have it actually work on that rainbow, because I felt so bad because I was the one that did the estimate on it, and I'm like, oh, it's probably just like these loose wires going, like, a problem with the wires from the circuit board to the power takeoff, because I've seen that enough times, and then it ended up being the circuit board, and I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah, no.
Big oof.
So, I repaired a rainbow recently, got a circuit board, so I went through that where they changed it. And, like, the newest rainbows, they're having a hazard issue where the circuit board's not cooled properly because it's not cooled with the motor, it's actually cooled with a separate fan, and the fan doesn't actually do adequate cooling on that circuit board.
Oh, the SRXs?
Yeah.
Quick question that hopefully you'll know. Are, at least from the E-Series onward, are those motors brushless motors?
So, the early E-Series were not.
Okay.
The later E-Series are brushless motors. Most of them, I would say, are brushless motors. And they have just such a funny sound to them when you turn them on.
Yeah.
They don't sound like anything else. I have one that I was going to put on eBay, but a friend of mine is going to pick it up. We're going to trade some Mila parts for that machine.
I wonder if brushless motors are going to make a bigger appearance in the vacuum industry.
I think because of the cordless machines being brushless,
absolutely.
they will.
I can very much see them.
But
What?
brush motors, you know, like I was servicing I serviced 2 Electroluxes today, and the carbon brushes had so much life that it's kind of the brush motors are cheaper to make. So I guess I don't see a reason for that happening.
Unless there's like some leaps and bounds where for less power or less electrical consumption, they're able to get significantly more
and that's
power.
where like there's a Dyson called a DC22 where they did that.
Is that the tiny one?
Is that the digital motor?
Yeah, it's got the digital motor. It's got the small little and that's got a brushless motor. What's cool about that is the HEPA filter stays pretty clean on that.
Are all the new
there's not
Dysons
carbon
brushless motors, or are they not?
What?
Like you know, after like that machine, like because
No,
didn't
that was the
Dyson?
only plug-in machine that had a brushless motor.
No, I mean like for the cordless stuff, because I know the plug-in machines don't have the brushless
all
motors.
the cordless are brushless motors.
Oh, interesting. Or at least like that one onwards, right? Because I know it was like the 30 something where they were like,
Well,
oh, it's a digital motor now.
No. It was only the when they refer to the digital motor, they're referring to a brushless motor that is custom made for their situation.
Right.
I actually have a very long-going Instagram conversation with one of the Dyson engineers who works in Malaysia, and he oversees the actual manufacturing part of some of the stuff over there. He assured me that there's no child labor going on over there.
Oh, that's good to know.
I would have hoped not, because only because I would have assumed that if something like that was going on, then I'm sure someone would have blown that whistle
sort of
by now.
stuff, yeah, but that sort of stuff, it adds character to the machines.
Yeah, I once unpacked a box from Esco that was all Dyson parts. I smelled it. I was like, it smells like child labor. I said right in front of a customer while my coworker was chucking in a Dyson.
Oh my god.
And they look at it, and my coworker knows where I'm going with it. And he looks at this customer and says, yeah, Dyson parts are made in Malaysia by children. And like says it to the customer as he's checking it in.
It's like, oh.
Anyways, we used to joke around. We used to do a lot of trolling in that work.
And then like a grandma comes in and it's like, oh, my kids like vacuums too. Can I get that Dyson?
It's like, oh no, that's sweetie.
Yeah, no. Or you get that old person who insists that you switched out their machine for some reason.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much.
Which is like,
come in with the old folks home, hello, my name is, name tag on them, and insist that we stole their Hoover hose or something for their...
Like, yes, because we want to sell your shitty used vacuum parts.
Or on the topic of Dyson, I remember like when the early 14s still had the switch on the side cover, even though there was no way to put a filter in there, because it has the tabs that prevents you from putting a filter in that slot. And they'd be like, oh, they would... Yeah, but it's like you can't put the filter in unless you break those tabs off. So it's like, how did you do this?
Well,
I've never seen it.
They weren't brittle when they were new. You could take like a screwdriver, or if you manhanded enough, you could pop them off.
Oh yeah, but because since they don't have like the plunger thingy that the 07 filters, like the gas, the thing in the center, I don't know what you call it, like the valve.
Yeah, air relief.
Yeah, the air relief, like so it doesn't get stuck. Wouldn't that mean that it would get like stuck and it'd be hard to remove it?
No, the air relief is only if you get like a clog or something like that. That's what the air relief is.
Oh, that's not. Oh, because I assumed it had to do. Well, I knew it was that, but I thought it was also something with helping you take the filters out on the 07 since it's a tight fit. Oh, okay.
Nope.
Huh.
So,
interesting.
Real quick, Robert, you posted in the chat that Oric Bigfoot, and it made me remember, like,
Man, Bear, Pig.
Remember that
Man, Bear, Pig.
kind of weird Oric commercial canister, the big red, I think it's like the 1500 or something, that had that ridiculously large power nozzle. I'll see if I can find it.
Oh yeah, they had a there was like a canister. There were two canisters that had that powered head. There was a big commercial circular thing, and then there was a square commercial that.
Yeah, the square one. The
huge
thing.
Oh, I have a friend who has one of those.
My aunt used to have one.
Oh my god.
And when I was little, I didn't really think much of it. I'm like, oh, this is just an old vacuum. And now I'm like, I really wish she still had it, because I would be like, I would pay for you to ship it out here. I would pay you extra for you to ship it out here, please. She didn't have the power nozzle. Like, I think she broke it or lost it. But I'm just like, I wish I had that machine now. So bad. Because I can't find one anywhere. And they actually, at least hers, I don't know in general, but it didn't sound bad. It was actually fairly quiet, at least for the time.
Yeah, no. I don't remember being quiet. They're smooth.
Well, quiet from what I had at the time. Again, like, nostalgia purposes, but...
Well, we got a Phantom. Hey, Trace, where's... I want to ask... Well, he said he had an Oric, but what does he have that's not bagless? What's up with all the bagless machines?
Well, most of the vacuums that I have, if you've seen the vacuum save videos, that's all crap that I get locally from, like, stuff that people throw out or people that give me, and that's just what most people have in my area is just bagless. So most of the crap that I have is, most of the bag machines that I have are ones that I bought, not ones that I found or were given.
Okay.
So
I just would expect the occasional, like, convertible or...
Well, yeah, I have
wind tunnel. I would expect you to have a few Hoover wind tunnels.
I do.
I haven't seen it. Like I said, oh, he cut out there.
Hello? Check 1, 2. Did my internet die or something?
Unless your internet is somehow dead except for my internet, then nah, you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, alright.
Yeah, see, okay, here's the machine I would expect him to really like out of all this machine.
And you're right. Yeah.
This machine right here would be, I would think this would be like your special daily driver right there behind you.
Yeah, that wind tunnel. So basically, that also is actually from what I understand, a very rare version where God damn it, where the bag change indicator isn't actually a gauge, it's an LED next to the dirt sensor.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't say it was rare. It was like half of them made.
Rare compared to the other wind tunnels.
Well, that one, so, I don't know if you've seen the old footage. There was like the basic, there was the tempo, there was that, and then there was the self-propel.
Right.
Typically the lineup. And then there were
Yeah.
different colors and different sensor setups depending on the retailer.
Yeah. So I own 2 of those wind tunnels. I own that black one, and then in my other house I have a blue one.
There's a silver one like that.
I have a silver one?
I'm asking if you have a silver one or what other color you have it in. Maybe they made the iMac colors in that too.
From what I'm aware of, they made black, blue, red, green. They made a couple different green ones. They made a translucent dark green and then like a pastel lime green. And I think for the blue, they might have... I don't know if they made another blue other than the transparent blue because maybe they saved the other blue for the tempo. But, oh, yeah, and they made that... No, they made that, like, really silvery... Not silvery, that, like, shiny blue that the anniversary editions had. And then...
It was painted.
Yeah. And then...
painting vacuums is a bad idea. All vacuums should be molded. They should not be painted. It's a bad idea. They look bad after a while.
Right.
Then what if you do the really awesome like rock paint that the fucking some of the really old sanitaires had?
If you Cerakoted it would be different.
Yeah.
Or a powder coat would be different. What I'm talking about.
But yeah.
Like the Mila Capricorn?
Yeah, a plastic dip paint is horrible, or like all the Mila handles on the why is the handle painted? Why did they put paint? Why
a
did
place where you're touching all the time, and then are like, yeah, I don't know.
It absolutely drives me nuts.
Right.
Nuts.
I will, because I know you previously mentioned about the wind tunnel being my favorite machine, and it actually is. Because
I didn't say it was your favorite. I just expected you to really like it.
Well, it is one of my favorites. Yes.
Vacuums you can find for free or next to nothing. That's a decent machine.
Oh yeah, for sure. And but yeah, most of the Hoovers I have are unfortunately bagless ones, but I do have a couple bagged ones. I have those 2 wind tunnels. I have 2 old Elite styles. I have a Soft and Light from 01, and then I have a Runabout from 88.
Why does everybody fap to the Elite? I don't get it. I don't like the way those machines sound. I don't like the way they clean. I don't like the way they belch dust, and they're cheaply made. Why are Elites such a thing right now?
Because it's called an Elite. Don't you know that means it's better?
Yeah, exactly.
That's to do with the colors of them.
Well, here's why. Well, here's generally the blueprint for why I generally like get a machine that's older is. Well, yeah, the colors are nice. They come in a bunch of different like versions. But I mean, the wind tunnels are like that too. Like the wind tunnels, you can get a lot of like those translucent colors.
Hurt your ears when you turn it on.
Right, the Hoovers do kind of hurt your ears a little bit, and yeah, the Elites, they're not as bad as like an older Dirt Devil, but they're still because they're not like a screeching noise. There's just a lot of volume, you know.
They're just unnecessarily loud. Other vacuums were not that loud at the time.
Oh yeah,
Here is much quieter.
That is true. And
if you turn on a Hoover, like a Hoover Concept isn't as loud, or what's the Hoover Conquest? I've been wanting to find me a Hoover Conquest that's bagged.
You're not talking about the commercial one, right? You're talking about the older one.
Which one's the Conquest?
The Conquest is the one that has So the brush roller has these little like humps in it, and it's got like
My
a clear
humps,
side
my
clean
humps,
out,
my
and then
humps.
it's got it takes a power nozzle belt that you have to pop off the top to remove it. And then the power nozzle belt goes to a V belt. Mr. Robert was talking about one earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, it's my line?
Yeah.
Whose
we're
line
talking
is it
about the
anyways?
Conquest. We're talking about the Conquest, Robert, and you're over there sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
Sleepy
interesting
Doge.
thing about the Conquest is they're actually built a lot like they built this kind of like a interesting, weird, modernized, but also not really version of the convertible. For you see, they still have the motors in the pancake style, like the convertibles and like Sanitaires.
I like pancakes.
But
No, they have the motors on its side.
oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that
it's
one.
got a Concept 1 motor, and it's.
Oh well, fuck the beginning of that. Let me try that again. They're like a concept that's modernized, but also not really. You see, they use the motor and basic structure of a Concept 1, but they add in fancy 80s and 90s features like a rotary dial to adjust the height, or they make it that L pattern so it's a pain in the ass to store.
It looks
And
like
they
Uber
also-
was like, our vacuum needs to be more butch looking.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then the new ones are horrible. Don't buy any one.
Yeah, don't. They're fucking dog shit.
I just didn't realize that's what
The
that
newer
was.
Guardsmen's, though, those are alright if you can still find one.
I wouldn't trust a new Uber Guardsman, but I'm open to having my mind actually changed.
They're a piece of history, damn it. Respect your elders.
Oh, I busy actually has a video on one. I'll post it here.
The orange one?
Yeah.
Every collector should
They-
have at least one convertible and one F&G machine.
I
got-
agreed. I have
I've got my
several of
FPG.
each.
I have
Okay.
actually the yellow hood commercial Eureka.
That was just
Yeah, I mean,
I don't count that one. Those are terrible. That's not a real one.
I think mine still has the motor that's made in Mexico, question mark. I haven't double checked that yet, but
You can tell by the sound.
it doesn't sound
I was
terrible,
gonna say, if it's...
but I'll have to double check that. I did have to replace the fan in it though.
I feel like one of the first videos I do...
Okay, did the top of the
Once we
motor,
get
was
the
it
cameras.
plastic or did it have a metal thing holding the top bearing?
I wanted, geez, that was a couple months ago. I think it had metal. Pretty sure
Yeah,
it had
metal,
metal.
it's a Mexican motor.
Okay. Yeah, it was great. I bought it used. Offer up, the person was like, it runs great. And I'm like, oh, okay, but it's $20. I wonder why. I bought it. Took it home. I turned it on, and I'm like, man, that motor's spinning really damn fast, and there's nothing happening.
Many conquests.
And then I look in there, and I'm like, yep, fan shatter. Cool.
Oh, Backmaster the Great.
What?
Jordan's a good guy. I've talked to them a couple of times. Unfortunately, kind of sucks that the deal I had with him, I was going to have with him about a year or so ago, fell through. Overall, he's a great guy.
Where did our host go?
I don't know where Tracy went. Either way, I feel like one of the first videos I'm going to do on my channel is going to be comparing, like, the dawn of, like, the early days of the modern budget machine. You know, like the sub-$100 Kmart, Walmart welfare specials. Because I've got both a 2034.
You have a Singer, though. The Singer is the worst of them all.
Listen, I'm going back to the early days, so pre-elites and shit. Unless you mean the twin fan, in which case, no, I don't have one.
Well, if you're gonna do that, then you need to get a Montgomery Ward.
Yeah, or you need to get a Lewitt, which is the original disposable machine.
Lewitt.
Listen, I'm basing it off what I can find on eBay and in thrift stores.
Okay, I appreciate how you deep-throated your mic right there. Very good. You got your point across.
So far, so it's just gonna be comparing.
I like cheesecake.
I'm just going to be comparing the RS convertible I have, which is actually the last of the. It's kind of the end of the line for the original convertibles. Those are like 1991 or 92. I was like, yeah, it was like 91 or 92, and those are the last ones they did before they switched to only making guardsmen's.
Mm.
Which, in case you've ever wondered what the difference between a guardsman and a normal convertible is, practically nothing. It's
I
literally
do
just a
like
new
that
coat of
neon
paint.
orange though. I really like that orange.
Yeah, but have you ever seen an RS convertible?
I don't think I have.
RS convertibles are like a maroon and cream color. They look awesome.
I'm sorry, what kind of RS? What's an RS convertible?
It was the last residential convertible they ever made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 1991 or 92.
Oh, I see. Yep.
Did you know you can get Hoover convertible brush rollers again?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's fucking amazing.
So you're talking about like the kind of burgundy hood with the cream bumper and the.
Yep.
Right. That is okay. That's a pretty handsome looking machine right there.
Yep. And it was the last of the convertibles. They were sold alongside the original Boss as like a budget machine. No frills, no bullshit.
Are you talking about this faded bag? Which one are you talking? I'm looking right now.
I posted it in the 90s channel.
Oh, I just found one.
Ah.
Okay, yeah. It says RS. Does that stand for Rally Sport?
Vacuum off road.
Yeah, Rally
I don't
Sport.
think there's ever been an explanation for it. My assumption is that RS meant residential service because it was the last consumer grade convertible made.
That checks out.
Interesting to find out. I wish
I found one on Pinterest, and the Pinterest users of Pinterest.
You might just end up seeing a picture of the one I bought.
Well, last time I checked, you don't have big mommy milkers.
No, but I need to go find me someone with those. I hear Russia is good for that.
I don't know about that, man.
Fuck it.
Big crocodiles kind of ruined all that.
Nah, don't matter.
I don't know about that.
Oh man,
A little
I'm
bit of
severely
freedom.
disappointed.
A little bit of freedom fixes any body.
Are you familiar with what crocodile looks like? It eats a hole in their skin.
Well, yeah, it's hard drugs. It's what the Russians do to get high.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about
I'm-
Russian women and why you don't want to import one.
Listen, it's like.
Can we get back to
listen,
vacuums and not mail order brides?
Oh yeah. Here's the picture from eBay listing of the one I bought. Alex.
Do they only have mail order brides, or do they have other versions as well?
Well, moving swiftly on. Yeah, I want to get the.
Can we talk about mail order brides on YouTube, Tracy?
Mail order husbands? I don't know. Are we?
Will you ask Melba Susan? Is that okay?
I actually planned for this. I asked Susan if discussing mail order husbands were okay. Don't ask me how we got on the subject, but I asked her beforehand if it was okay to talk about mail order husbands on YouTube, and she said as long as you don't go into specifics, it's okay. The algorithm's not going to target you. So I mean, unless it's something stupid like what kind of socks do they come with?
So I'm on eBay right now. I was looking at Hoover convertibles because now I'm curious.
I'm not.
Because some of the colors.
They go so expensive on eBay.
I can see that, and why? Why the hell? Like, why?
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. They're targeting collectors that don't want to wait and possibly find one in the wild, and they're basically charging for that convenience.
There are also collectors where their time is worth more money than fixing the machine.
Right,
This one has
that
a button
too.
bag instead of a zipper. That's cute.
I want to point this
Yeah,
out
those
real
ripped.
quick.
Yeah, this one's ripped.
Are you
Oh, that was an
showing
ugly
that?
laugh.
Are you like were you saying it, or are you just narrating what you're seeing, or did you post that in any of the channels?
Boom.
Whoever was just talking about the convertibles on eBay.
Me.
Yeah,
Here I can.
I don't.
I'll
I
go
mean,
ahead and- I'll open some links and post them in the Discord.
I mean, you don't have to. I was just wondering if you were, because it sounded like everyone else was seeing it and not.
Yeah, the last convertible I sold on eBay, the bid went up to $400.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, the one you sold, that was the 75th anniversary one. Those things are like unobtainium nowadays.
Yeah,
Unobtainium.
and I had creepy people asking me if I fucking sold, if it was me, and I was like, no. No.
The only reason why
What's your eBay handle?
I want to point out I paid $65 for my RS convertible. The only reason why I paid that much for it is because it's a machine that I know for a fact, even with the luck I have at like thrift stores and shit, finding stuff like old
$65 is worth it for any convertible though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because the one I just posted in the chat, the shipping is $65,
I
and
want
its
to point
starting
out
bid is
real
40.
quick. You think, oh well, $65. That's not bad for an RS convertible. I bought my 2034 for $7.
Yeah. One thing that a lot of people on eBay will do, which is really annoying, is they'll set the price to be relatively like affordable, but then they'll just upcharge you on the shipping. So
yeah, $200 for shipping
yeah.
on a $40 machine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like that's a scam. Shipping does not cost that much. And it's always, and like, if you ever do pay, like the one time I paid for like something that was $100 shipping, the shipping was awful. They didn't even pack it well. And it took forever to get here.
I have had problems with shipping on eBay lately. People just throw a vacuum in a box and ship it, or they put in like plastic bags. It's like, put some fucking bubble wrap on it. If you can't afford bubble wrap, ask me for $10 more or something. I will pay you. And I always send a message saying, pack this well.
I was kind of surprised at how well my RS convertible, it wasn't packed the best, but I wasn't gonna complain too much because I ended up getting it for free shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not gonna bitch about free shipping.
You want to see something funny? I'm not sure. Let me see if I have a picture of it. I had somebody ship me a power nozzle recently, and they left the wand attached, so they got like an extra long box, and I was like, is this my Electrolux canister? Like, I was trying to figure out what was in the box, and they left it attached rather than detaching the wand and breaking it down into two pieces.
Big brain.
Big brain. Super big brain.
Well,
let me see if I have a
maybe they just had the extra long box like laying around and they wanted an excuse to use it.
No, I mean, it would have cost them more money to ship. That's what I don't get.
I don't know. I'm just trying to. Yeah.
There was no logic to this. This is. Yeah.
I feel like
worst condition.
All right, I'm gonna post the video with it under performance reviews.
What's
You
the
can
worst
see.
condition you guys have gotten machines in?
Oh! I have a good story. I have really good. You know what? Everyone else go first. I'll go last because I have a good story, and it's YouTube
Alright,
I'll
related.
go first because
Go ahead.
mine's probably the nastiest. So I saw a Water Magic, I believe it's Water Magic 6 for sale on eBay. Free shipping, $50 was the starting bid last year. Now, in case you don't know what a Water Magic or a Filter Magic or Filter Fuck Nuts, whatever.
Is that related to
Nipples
Filter
are bags
Queen?
without a bag.
You can run them with a bag, but I wouldn't really recommend it. The thing is that if you're unfamiliar with those machines, they're relatively rare. They're relatively rare to find nowadays because they along with Fairfax's, they're one of those machines that when they quit making, like when the company went under, this is a problem that I'm pretty sure Silver King is facing now too. They've technically been bust for like almost a decade now, but it's really starting to become an issue now. It's once they went under, there was no more replacement parts for them. If you have to repair one, you have to part out another machine for them, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because not only are they relatively rare, but they're also really good machines. Those the Fairfax, the Water Magics, they're really good. In terms of like the door-to-door dealer special, whatever the hell type machines, they're awesome. They're really powerful, and they come with, I think they're Healthmore made power nozzles on them. Now, me knowing this, I was like, all right, I gotta fucking go on the lookout for one of these, and I did. Saw one, $50, free shipping on auction on eBay last year, and I thought, well, $50 is pretty damn good for one of these, since they're probably gonna go up in value in the future. Unfortunately, I did not read the description of that auction.
Oh God.
So, fucking
Rookie
it
mistake.
arrived. First of all, it arrived like a day or two early, which caused the whole kerfuffle with shipping and all and the mail arriving and all that bullshit. And
It arrived early, did?
Alarm bells are almost immediately ringing off because I smell it and I'm going, now I'm thinking, oh God, what the fuck is this? Did I get sent like a box of shit or something?
Oh no.
Now, I go, hold on, no, don't worry. It's one of those things where I just sit there thinking, wait a minute, that's not shit, that's like mayonnaise or something.
What?
I go to open the box.
What the
I'm
fuck?
Sitting there worried. Going, oh God, what the fuck is going on? Is this gonna be like a fucking stink bomb that blows up in my face or some shit? Did I get someone's fucking used pressure cooker by accident? What kinds of shit's going through my head? And then I pull it out and I realize, oh fuck. Now I know why no one else is bidding on this machine.
Oh God.
This thing was used to somebody's fucking cat vomited on it. So I fucking that's what the fucking mayonnaise smell. That's what the fucking tuna salad smell was. I'm just sitting there going, oh, what the fuck is this? And so thankfully it wasn't too bad. All I had to throw out was the filters for it. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, that is probably the worst condition I've ever gotten a machine in. A close second would be a Bissell Power Broom I have. It's of the newer style, and the only reason why I even grabbed that machine is because that's one of those machines that I have it based on the James May principle of somebody's got to preserve one as a reminder for future generations to not make.
I actually have one of those with a shop motor.
And that machine, oh God. It didn't have cat vomit on it like the Water Magic did. By the way, both machines, they cleaned up pretty damn good. They're like the Water Magic, that's one of those machines that has like the Cerakote, this rock paint on it. So you've never even... And I used this strong like alkaline cleaner on it to help neutralize the smell. If you looked at that thing right now, you'd never even notice what the hell happened to it, aside from the filters being missing.
So
you haven't got the filters yet?
No, I haven't. And it was what's worse is that wasn't even the only thing it was missing. It was missing the dolly and it was missing the exhaust muffler. Which, the exhaust muffler being missing, I'm not going to raise too much of a stink about that, because, hey ho, whatever, I'll just fucking 3D, it's probably inch and a quarter anyway, so I can just 3D print my own.
Mm-hmm.
But the fucking dolly, that's one that, it's a pretty fucking big thing to be missing. Once again, $50, pretty much sight unseen, I can't really shake too much of a stick at it, because it's a rare machine, and I've already sourced another one on eBay right now that I'm probably going to buy and harvest a couple parts from.
I ask sellers to send me an inside of the bag chamber now before I buy anything.
Yeah, no, this was literally I had bought so many machines off of eBay before this, and I didn't. This was the first one that I.
Have you ever seen any of Roger's fails? Like, he's got machines and they've, like, fallen apart in his hand and stuff.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, a few of those.
I know I saw the Mila Roger got their fucking motor where it's like he went to run it and it tripped the residual current device. I've seen that.
Yeah, I saw that. No, he had one where he pulled it out of the box and it broke in half. It was like a Uber Aquamaster or something.
Mm.
I feel. Some of the fails Rogers had, I feel bad for him with some of that stuff. Him and Sam, because those are like really nice guys, and
yeah, they're not douchebags like I am.
And
I finally got a full refund from that Lind House.
Wait, which Lind House?
That Lind House area canister that I bought, and they said it was like new and in running condition, and it had been used without a bag, and had motor wine, and the filters were fucked.
I really
broke. Like, I made a whole video. I posted it somewhere in here of how bad it was.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Because I like those canisters. I mean, they're not the best, but I think they're neat.
Yeah.
What probably the most notable story that I can think of like just not just like a bad item, but just like a whole crazy buying experience stands out was on about a year ago on OfferUp. I bought a Dyson. I bought a DC-14, and the seller was stupid and also crazy. But basically what happened was, because I don't know if you're familiar with OfferUp, but the way the OfferUp works is the shipping label is prepaid, so they pay for the shipping label, which makes it really nice to use for shipping vacuums. But if you don't ship it within a certain amount of time, it's usually about 3 days, give or take. Usually it's like 3 days to ship. They'll send you a reminder, and then you have 2 additional days to ship it, or the order automatically cancels. So if you buy something, the seller doesn't ship it, you don't get screwed out of your money. So I bought this Dyson from this dude. I asked a couple questions first. I was like, hey, how good does it run? It looks good in the pictures. It have all the attachments. He's like, yes, has all the attachments. It runs good. It's a little bit old, so obviously I'm assuming it's going to have a bad clutch or something like that. But, usual shit. And I paid way too much for it, frankly. I paid $100 for it, which I shouldn't have, but especially given everything that happened. But, so I pay for it, and then maybe 2 days go by, and I'm asking him more stuff about it, and he's like, oh yeah, it's fine, nothing wrong with it. And again, I may be remembering some of this stuff incorrectly, but basically at some point, right before the day that he said he was going to ship it, which still was well within that window, he cancels the order. And OfferUp didn't cancel it because, number one, it's within that time period, so it wouldn't have auto-canceled. And number two, if OfferUp cancels an order, they'll say the seller didn't ship in time, so we've canceled the order. It didn't say that. It said this guy, David, canceled the sale. So I was like, what happened, dude? You just told me you were going to ship this out tomorrow. Why'd you cancel the sale? And it was like a Sunday night prior to a Monday. And I had bought it on a Saturday, the day before. So, and he's like, I didn't cancel this. I just dropped it off at the post office. Or wait, no. So it wouldn't have been Sunday. It would have been Monday or something. But point is, he's like, I didn't cancel it. I just dropped it off at the post office a few hours ago. And I'm like, what? Because if he did drop it off at the post office, then it would say, hey, the item's been scanned in. It's on its way. But it didn't, so obviously he didn't ship it yet. I had the tracking number, and he hadn't dropped it off yet. So then a few days go by, and he's like, so, hey, where's my money? Are you going to pay me for it? And I'm like, what? You canceled the order. And he's like, no, I didn't. OfferUp did. And then he started getting really angry. He's like, don't screw me out of my money, man. He's like, what's your PayPal? What's your PayPal? Send me the money. And I'm like, no, first off, it's against the policy to ship or to do any sort of business outside of OfferUp, because they know that if they say that that's allowed, then people are going to scam people, and that's exactly what this guy was trying to do. So I said, look, I understand that mistakes happen, so look, once I receive the vacuum, if I do receive the vacuum, if you still haven't gotten paid for it, then I'll give you my info and pay you outside somewhere else, if there truly is no record of this sale. And which obviously there was, because on his listing it still says sold. But the weird thing is that then he listed it again. Like, he listed the same exact vacuum, same pictures and everything again, and that listing was still up. So I was really confused.
Oh, he tried to double sell it.
Exactly.
There's a word for that kind of scam. It's like the Iowa land scam or something. There's a word.
Well, he was from Alabama, so I don't know if that... Oh, your mic just went out.
Oh, so it's the cousin fucker scam.
Yeah. And I showed like all of the... I didn't show every single message, because we messaged back and forth quite a bit, even once I had just gotten it. So I did eventually get it. And I showed some of those messages in the video, but not all of them. But because...
You got it? Did you end up paying him?
Well, I didn't pay him outside the app. But what happened is that eventually... so basically what happened is, or at least, again, like, I tried contacting OfferUp, he supposedly tried contacting OfferUp, but obviously he was bullshitting. Here's what actually happened. This dude, okay, well, first off, I'll say how I got it. The thing was packaged pretty okay. It was packaged in a decent box. It was bubble wrapped very well. He did a very good job at packaging it, except there was a problem. The entire motor housing, from the HEPA filter all the way down through the bottom of it, where the motor actually sits in that cradle, like in the main housing, was cracked. And it wasn't just cracked. There were actually... The HEPA filter cover did not stay on, because each piece of plastic where the tab was broken clean off. Not like it was cracked, but it was broken.
Pictures?
What?
Do you think it was broken after the pictures were taken?
Yes, because that damage was not in the pictures. And it was packaged very well, and if it had actually been damaged in shipping, then those pieces that were broken off would have been in the box or somewhere in the package. They were not. So here's what happened. So here's what logically I can say is, this dude was trying to sell the vacuum probably for a while. What? What'd you say?
He tried to put it in the box is what happened.
Yeah, that could be it too. He might have. So it might have been perfectly working before. I don't. Yeah. So maybe he dropped it while putting it in the box. But either way, at some point he took the pictures, broke it, and then put it in the box and shipped it anyways. But at first he tried to cancel the sale and get me to pay elsewhere, because again it says he canceled it. So I don't know if like he looked on my profile and saw that I like sold and bought a bunch of vacuums. Maybe he was like, oh, this guy's gonna notice it, I can't screw him over on this, I better just ship it and hope for the best. Or I don't know what was going through his mind, but either way, he tried to get me to double pay for something that was broken. Now, thankfully, the motor and everything else, I mean, obviously the clutch is bad, but as far as like the motor itself, it ran fine, so I was able to just replace that housing. I found one on eBay, and I was able to replace it. Now the vacuum works, although I do still need to get a clutch, but it works enough. So, but at the time, obviously this was a big problem, and he was like, and at the time, he still supposedly hadn't gotten paid for it, and I was like, wait, so I just got this thing, the attachments are missing, it's broken in several spots in a way that obviously wasn't damaged in shipping, because you actually did a very good job packaging it. So it was not damaged in shipping. There was no trauma to the box. Why would I pay you double when obviously you're about to get the money for this anyways? It's just clearly taking a while. Why would I do that? Like explain to me how that makes any sense. And obviously this guy's not operating logically, so he's getting all mad, and he's like, oh, I have your address now, I'm gonna come there and I'm gonna fuck you up. And I'm like, dude, really? You're gonna insult, at the time, like, you're gonna insult a fucking 19-year-old dude, like, YouTuber dipshit over a vacuum cleaner? Like, are you that pathetic? Like, you're gonna drive what, 6-7 hours to fucking hit someone over $100 vacuum that you lost money on that was broken anyways. And he's like, yeah, but I lost so much money with buying the box and all the packaging materials, and I'm not even going to get my money. And I'm like, dude, just be patient. You're probably going to get it anyways. Like, calm down, dude. And the crazy thing is that there were like a couple people, and like one person who's like a good friend of mine, who was like, oh, I don't believe you that it's that he threatened to like assault you over it. He's like, you would be scamming him if you didn't pay him. And I'm like, dude, I paid him. I had already done it. Like, I wasn't the one who canceled the sale. And again, and I also told him, I was like, look, if OfferUp refunds me the money that I paid for it and I still get the vacuum, you'll get it right back. That's exactly what I told him, which is more than fair. And eventually, like a week later, I got the notification on my OfferUp saying that he was paid and the charge was finally taken off of pending on my bank account, so it obviously went through. So yeah, in the end, he made $100 off of a broken piece of garbage, and he almost just assaulted a random guy, or threatened to assault. Obviously, he was all bark, no bite. He wasn't going to do shit. But it was just kind of funny, because I'm like, dude, you're getting really mad over this. It's really not that big of a deal. I mean, I wasn't even being mean. I was just like, dude, this doesn't make any sense. I know that you're trying to pull a fast one. You can be honest with me. I understand times are tough. But, like, you don't have to do this. This is just stupid.
I'd like to say for the record, times were not tough a year ago.
Well, I mean, they're definitely worse now, or they were worse, you know, a year ago.
2008.
What?
They were definitely not 2008 times were tough.
No, but I mean, you know, basically, I'm just saying, like, I'm sure, because he was all like, oh, I have a family and I can't, you know, that sort of shit, and I'm like, that's not my problem. Nobody cares. It's like I didn't, because here's the thing, look, because I mean, I'm a charitable enough person. Like, if you try to scam me, I'm not gonna do anything. But if you're like, hey, you know, I know, like, we agreed to this other price, but you know, I need to buy groceries or whatever. Can you give me a little bit more for it? It's like, yeah, obviously I'm not obligated to do that, but it's like, if you're like, hey man, I need some help, then I wouldn't mind. I mean, I've done that before. Like, there was, like, you know, times where, like, someone sold me like a lot of video games or something. They're like, hey, bills are kind of tough right now, because this was like right during COVID, and I floated in like an extra $50, and I was just like, you know, here you go. You already give me a good deal on these, so why not? And I don't do that all the time.
More charitable than I ever am.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have the financial cushion to be as charitable as often as I'd like to be. But, you know, I'm at least not, again, it's like, just be honest with me. It's like, don't try to scam me. It's like, I'm not stupid. I can see through your bullshit. And he obviously...
I just don't understand why people are trying to scam people through these services like eBay, OfferUp, that have a paper trail. At least with Craigslist, you don't have like a paper trail. You can get a phone number or something.
Yeah, and I've been scammed plenty of times doing, like, you know, Facebook Marketplace, like, in-person meetups, which is why I don't do those anymore. At least not with, like, expensive shit. I'll still do it for, like, a $20 vacuum, because, like, who gives a shit? What?
How so?
Just where I had a couple times where I was trying... this was back before I, like, had people who could go with me. So, whenever I did in-person sales... So, there were a couple times when I tried to sell iPhones, and the guys just took it and ran off.
Oh, yeah.
But,
no.
You know, yeah. But, I mean, that's my bad, because, you know, I met in sketchy places, and I learned now that, obviously, that was stupid to do, and it's good that, you know, that was the worst that happened, you know, because I could have got shot or something.
Venmo?
What?
You know Venmo, the paid service?
Venmo?
Yeah,
Yes, I know Venmo. Venmo?
So when that was first a thing, I hadn't heard of it. I was selling a bicycle, and this guy comes, and he's like all up on the app, and he says, oh, just download the app, and I'll send you money through the app. And I was like, no, cash only, it's not for sale anymore, goodbye. And he was like, no, just use the app. I was like, you better leave, like, good things are not gonna happen if you stay around here. So he was pissed because I made him go all the way to the bank and get money. Because I was like, I don't trust that. I'm not downloading an app.
Yeah, or like
probably 10 years ago now, but
yeah,
no.
Well, yeah, when it was brand new, yeah, or it's like, you know, someone will, or I just had this happen too, which this was bullshit, where I sold, because as you probably know, I fix and resell cell phones as well, and sometimes computers. So back in October, I sold a refurbished Galaxy S7 Edge. It was one where I put a brand new screen, brand new battery, brand new charging port, brand new back, everything. It was brand new, factory unlocked firmware installed on it, works on every carrier, literally perfect, nothing wrong with it. And I sold that for $200, which I already was making pretty much no money off of it, but I was just like, oh, whatever, it helps someone get a nice phone for not a bad price, so, that's kind of worth it, I guess. And so I sold it to this one lady, and she bought it, for I think she ended up buying it for her kid or something. But she paid for it. She left excellent feedback. She said she was really happy with it. Left 5 stars. Said item was quote unquote perfect, no issues, great seller,
What
all
service
that.
was this?
eBay.
Oh, okay.
So she leaves that feedback, and I'm like, oh, great, and I give her a review too. Great seller, very friendly, enjoyed her item, all that stuff. And then come, like, literally a month ago at this point, so very, very recent, February, no less. Obviously, the 30-day return window for an item that you don't want has long come and gone. She never sent me a question on eBay, nothing like that. She files a PayPal case against me, like an attempt at a chargeback. And what?
Okay, yeah.
And so she does that, and her case was, she's like, oh, the item's not as described. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck could be wrong with this thing? And then she says in her little blurb, she's like, oh, the seller installed an app on here that tracks me and my kid. I don't want this phone anymore. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Really? That's what you're gonna say?
I mean, there's all sorts of apps that track you and your kid. You just don't know which ones they are.
Yeah, exactly. So I messaged, because she didn't say what it was, and obviously the phone was like reset before I sold it to her, because again, I installed new firmware on it, so obviously it was fresh. And so I messaged her and I was like, hey, what app are you having problems with? I can help you get it off the phone if you have any questions about anything. And she didn't respond. So then a week passes by, because obviously she wasn't going to. And I submitted my response with all the evidence saying that she said the item was perfect. She didn't tell me what app it was. I messaged the buyer. She gave, directly, she gave no response, no effort to make any contact, no effort to give anything. Basically, calling her out. And it was a big, long paragraph describing everything that was wrong and ripping apart her bullshit. And thankfully, 2 days later, eBay sided with me and I got to keep that money, which is good.
That's good, because I feel like they rarely side with you. I sold some RAM to somebody, and they didn't understand how the RAM was paired, because it was 2 sticks, and they went through this whole thing saying I sold them the wrong amount of RAM. And I was like, it's 8 gigabytes of RAM, 2 4 gigabyte sticks. What else were you expecting?
Yeah. Yeah,
I had pictures, and I had it in the original package. That was the worst thing. I had like the original package with it, like.
Yeah.
Because when I sell stuff, I try to keep it. Like I have a closet in my house. It's all original boxes of things I bought.
Right.
I have our original TV boxes and things like that, just in case you need to send back.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one who does that.
Yeah, I try to do that, and I try to buy stuff from people who are like that. Like I was gonna buy a used snowblower today, and unfortunately somebody bought out from under me. But the guy had like the original receipt, and it was his dad's, and really sad. I wasn't able to pick it up.
Darn. Well, hey, I mean, if you have one of those Hoover Elites, you could use that.
Actually, I have a Hoover Elite. It's over at my friend's house. I need to pick it up because I should do a video on it since people like them.
Is it like an elite, or is it like just an elite style, like a runabout or a legacy?
No, it's like an elite.
100 million fucking views on that video.
Yeah, it's like an elite 2 or something like that. It's like, it's an actual elite.
That's. I'm actually looking for that exact one. That's funny. I'll give you $2 for it. Oh, and a taco.
I don't know, for like $200 on eBay.
Ah, damn.
You can find it from in the fucking dumpster when he's done.
Well, I have
one of those things. I picked up a bunch of machines at my friend's house, and I didn't have room in the trunk, so I was all like, you know what? Well, you just keep that here. Maybe I'll take it another day. Like,
Is that one that you dumped at Dr. Spiegelminder's house?
Yeah. Yes. So when I had an apartment, I had a bunch of vacuums that were in my parents' attic, and when they were moving from New Mexico to California, I picked them up, and then so I picked them up, and I didn't have room in my apartment at the time, so I just, on the way from New Mexico to Denver, I dropped him off at his house. I was like, here's my vacuum collection. Maybe I'll catch you later with it.
Oh,
So, yeah, I had like
I would never do
15
that.
15 or 20 machines I dropped at his house.
Oh.
And I've gotten most of them back. I think I got 3 or 4 left over there.
Mm.
I was like looking at my phone the other day. I was like, I found a picture of a machine I had, and I had like the serial number. I was like, dude, I think I have this machine at your house too. Here's the serial number. Because the problem is he has almost every machine I dumped over there. It took us a while to figure out which one was which.
I'm really fucking jealous of the work CVRs he has. And
Oh.
Oh yeah. Those are cool machines.
Those are so nifty.
They really are.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny too because it's like a lot of modern Oryx. Well, to be fair, I haven't actually like looked like at my Oryx compared to my other, but I know my XL2 Ultra. It's funny because like those machines are really short, but my Ultra is like taller than every other machine that's at my dad's house because it's there,
The Oryx
which is so
really,
weird.
The Oryx from like the 90s to
Like mid
present are
2000s.
all very
Yeah.
tall.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I figured the new ones. I didn't look and see if my 21 was or 20. Well, I guess it's a 21.
Tall. They're all tall.
Yeah.
I like that about them.
Yeah, it is kind of nice. I kind of wish. Yeah.
I went to use an Electrolux today with a floor tool attached with the 2-piece plastic one, and I realized that I am too tall for it.
Huh.
I was like, I need a third extension.
It makes me think of I think it's like a 9.0 something, but there were some Eureka canisters that were out in the like 2009 to 2012, 13 time period or whatnot. It wasn't the Reality, it was...
The Mighty Might?
No, it wasn't the Mighty Might. It was,
You're talking about the Electrolux oxygen type things?
kind of, but it wasn't. I'll see if I can find one, but like I'd ordered one because at the time I was like cleaning houses while going to college, and I was like, oh, this would be really nifty to be able to use. It's affordable, it's small, and everything. I'm not a tall person. I'm a whopping 5'6", and it came with a telescoping wand, and it was just with the floor tool. It was too short for me, and I'm like, who is this machine built for? Like,
oh, did it take a type T bag?
Possibly.
Yellow?
Mine was like either purple or blue. I think the purple is the bagless variant.
I know what machine you're talking about. I've seen those around before.
I'm trying really hard to find it. I can't believe I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, I had it for like a week, and then I was like, this is useless. This, like, no. And it also whistled. It whistled, I don't remember from where, but it was just the most obnoxious noise, and it was just...
Somebody posted on Reddit today that their E-Series machine was whistling. I was like, I didn't even respond to it. It's like, go to your dealer, come on.
I know the OG Phantoms would whistle if you block them off. They'll make that whistling noise. The thunders in the domestics at least.
Yeah.
Is this what you're thinking about?
Let me look. Yes, I had the bagged version of that, and it was not good.
Oh.
Nah.
I was
Oof.
bummed because, like, again, I got it for like $60 new.
I like the way it looks though. It's kind of cute. I like it. The way it looks.
Is that an AEG product? Because that's a Visselwerk Turbo.
It might be. It was when Eureka was doing... Well, Eureka's been doing weird shit for a while, but it was when Eureka was doing weird shit.
When has Eureka not done weird shit?
Yeah, Eureka, I think, has done weird shit. Hoover only did weird shit under Maytag. Eureka just does weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, tying back to what was mentioned earlier, so I have a question. Do you guys allow returns when you do eBay sales anymore?
No.
No.
Never.
Fuck
Okay.
no. Fuck that.
Once it's out of my house, it's out of my house, and they cannot take it back.
Fuck
I
that.
used to do returns because, like, you know, I went about things of the mindset of, like, oh, I'm not a terrible person, and it, like, I was always concerned, like, well, what if something fails on it that I missed or something?
No,
and I
because it's
couldn't
the
put it
buyer
out?
that's a terrible person. That's what you learn when you're on eBay.
Oh, so I had an Electrolux Renaissance, the gray ones, not the blue-white ones.
Oh, I've wanted one of those for a while. I remember going to get my Electrolux repaired as a kid and then demoing that to us.
It's a great machine, but it's as far as actually using it, it's not my favorite to use. And I'm like, well, someone else can appreciate this more or something, right? So I ended up selling
I gotta
it,
get
and
that SIBO tool.
like, you know, I always package everything real well, and I always put like a note being all like, yeah, if you ever have any issues with the vacuum, like I don't have anything past a 30-day return, but you know, message me, I'll do my best to help you, because at the time I was like, I don't want to screw people over. And 29 days in, they sent a message like, hey, I want to return this, and I'm like, oh, is there something wrong with it? And they're just like, they were kind of wishy-washy about it, and I was like, okay, well, I don't feel like trying to argue with eBay, and it is within the window, so sure. And they send it back.
Well, if someone asks you, you say no, even if technically they can.
I have learned. I was trying to be nice.
Yeah.
I don't really care to do that anymore. The machine comes back in the exact box I sent it. It didn't even look like it had been opened, but there was like a tear in the corner and stuff. And immediately I'm like, I need to check all the serial numbers and like all the parts, because I was like, oh great, what if they ordered it because they wanted replacement parts and just kind of swapped stuff out and then sent the broken shit back?
Yep.
Luckily, like I'm checking everything. I'm going back to my photos and referencing, making sure like it's all the same machine, and it was. But I was still just like, okay, that's really fucking like weird, because they ended up using the excuse that like, oh well, we bought it and then we just don't need it now, and I'm like, who buys something like that, waits until day 29, and then they're like, never mind, let's send it back?
Well, did they do the crap that a lot of people do, where they don't want it, but if you select item not needed anymore on the return reason, they have to pay for return shipping. But if they say it's not as described or it's defective, then you have to pay the return shipping. So did they did they lie and say that it was not as described?
They paid the return shipping.
Oh, okay. Well, at least there's that.
Yeah, so there was that, but like because of that, I just don't offer returns anymore, because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you made the commitment to buy this. You messaged me asking about it, and we're like asking questions. I was really honest in all the pictures and everything, specifically pointing out like, hey, the crevice tool's a little wonky. I can't fix that, but you know, just making sure every like major error was noticeable. I try to be like very thorough in my listings, because again, like, I don't want somebody to be like, oh, you never mentioned that there was this, and it's like...
And it's like the stupidest shit ever.
You want to talk about a bad eBay experience? I have one for you.
Spill the beans.
I just remembered. I had forgotten about this. So you know that big milling machine I have?
Yeah.
That 1960s Bridgeport? So...
No, but go on.
Well, I've got 1960s Bridgeport in my garage. So I buy one on eBay, and I get a good deal on it, and I got it for like many thousands less than what I should have gotten it for. And it gets delivered, and they don't crate it. They just put it on a pallet. Something that big you don't crate. You put it on a pallet. But it was supposed to have a box with like the handles, like the feed handles, and the digital. I ended up putting a new one on there. The digital table measurement, forgetting the word for that, it's not a caliber. The scales, the digital scales on there. It was supposed to have like a chuck and a bunch of other things that you would need to use this kind of machine in a box. And it arrived, and there were some zip ties, like those big commercial zip ties that were loose around it. And I never got. And they didn't just take the handles off. They like unscrewed the corkscrew. They took it apart way farther than they needed to. And lost like the bearings that go on the end of the feed table and all that. If you're not familiar with the 1960s Bridgeport, go Google Bridgeport milling machine. But anyways, so none of that stuff came. I talked to the seller. Seller was of no use. Wouldn't make it to the claim with UPS or anything. UPS Freight basically said, "Oh, this happened. Okay, whatever." Anyways, so basically, hundreds of dollars worth of stuff that was supposed to be with it wasn't with it. And I ended up having to order all this stuff and, spend about $500-600 putting these parts on this machine. But the good news is all the Bridgeport, even though they don't make this specific milling machine anymore, Bridgeport gate heads are so common in manufacturing, you can actually order all the parts off from China. They actually still make them in China. So I had to rebuild my American machine with Chinese parts.
Well, hey, I mean, rebuilding with Chinese parts is better than rebuilding with no parts, I guess.
It is, but
Yeah.
I mean, I purposely ordered a 1960s bridge. I purposely wanted a bridge part because I wanted an American-made machine.
Of course.
Glory
Yeah.
time of American manufacturing.
Mm-hmm. Back before
Anyway.
all this stuff got outsourced.
Yeah, I mean, there's still companies who don't outsource stuff, but people just don't want to pay for it.
Barely, yeah.
I had a comment today on YouTube that was like, why is the Mila crevice tool $20? It's like, it's not made in China. That's the cost of not making something in China. They're like, it's $5 worth of plastic. I'm like, no. It's $10 worth of plastic. You know?
And that's how sales work.
Yeah.
And that's how sales works. And
If
that's,
that guy wants to bitch so much, why doesn't he just buy one off of eBay, cast it in some fucking, like, plaster of Paris or something, and start making his own out of fucking resin?
well, and let's be honest, that particular tool, I mean, it's got a design, a shape to it, like there's airflow physics taken into account. It's not just PVC pipe that's been cut and bent.
Well, that
Right.
it fits to the wand really well, and it's durable. Like, it's not going to wear down like from cheaper machines.
But even any crevice tool though is usually not a $5 part. It's usually like even a Hoover crevice tool is like a $7 part.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just like one of those things. But like people don't understand when you don't make something in China, it costs twice as much usually, if not more.
Yeah, some people that bitch about the price of Mila attachments shouldn't be getting a Mila in the first place.
That's what I said. If you just like I see people talk about the bags being expensive or the parts are like, then don't buy one. That's not your machine. If you're not that type of person, don't buy one. Go buy a SIBO. Go buy a Hoover.
How much is a SIBO crevice tool?
Let's take a look at SIBO's website because SIBO sells their parts cheaper than Mila, but they have less middlemen involved, which is why they can do that.
They've
Right.
also been kept with the same design for such a long time that it's not like
There's
Right.
I've got 3 or 4 different Mila crevice tools over
Yeah.
time. Let's see.
Like, what honestly is like the newest SIBO in terms of like design? It's like, isn't the newest one like 20 years old?
E-series.
E-series.
And then the D-series.
The D series. I personally think is a phenomenal canister if you have a lot of space to cover, like especially because you can now get it with like that twist tool that they have. It's not as good as the Mila Parquet twister, but it's still pretty
When you
darn
say
good.
twist, the twist and clean?
Is that what
It
people
is.
calls it?
Yeah, that's made by the same company. They're both made by Visselwork.
But
So SIBO is making their Visselwork's making their turbos and that tool and a few other things. It's like my Central Vac tool is the
Okay.
same tool. Yeah,
I've noticed that like the very back bristles, they're harder. It's like I don't know. There's just something. It's not bad. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying like I do like the Milas a little bit more.
Who'd we lose or gain?
VacMaster 2020.
Oh, hey, VacMaster.
Hello.
Okay, so by the way, hello. Crevice tool from SIBO is $13.99. So $14.
And it's a decent size.
Oh, here it is.
As well.
Yeah.
It's, what, a
So-
foot long?
yeah.
Question mark?
15
So-
bucks, yeah.
Yeah, but question, how much is a Mila crevice tool? Because I remember them being they're not $20 less than. I'll check. Let's take a look here. They are,
1604 on just a quick random red
yeah.
site. The upright crevice tool is
They're
$25.
$23 on Amazon for 10 years.
Yeah, it's popping up a bunch of crap. Ugh. Go away.
Okay, so that's still not like that's not like $50 or anything. That's like not out of.
No, and also just don't lose your attachments. Maybe
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I never understand when people come in and they're like, yeah, I need all the new attachments. I lost mine. I'm like, how? They're in your house.
Well, exactly.
I can understand.
Assuming a dog didn't eat them or something. Yeah.
I could understand if like the attachments aren't on board, or if like the thing that stores them on board isn't all that secure, and like they've moved
Like, I
since then.
understand Kirby people losing the attachments because they have to go in the holder a specific way, but Mila they store in a compartment. Like they're like in a compartment.
Oh, my other
Yeah.
favorite thing, when people come in with their C3s or whatnot for just a service, and then you pop open the lid and they're like, "There's attachments in there." And it's like, who sold you this? Who didn't point that
My
out?
favorite thing is that when you park the vacuum and they
Yes.
get parked in the parking space.
Yep. And they're like, "I didn't know you could store it like that." It's like, yup, yes,
And
you
they're
can.
like, "Oh, Mila has a new way to store it." I'm like, no, they've been parking like that for 30 years.
Congratulations.
Apparently, Mila doesn't have any uprights.
Oh yeah, they're discontinuing the U1.
Are they discontinuing them? Or are they having trouble getting them in the country like all their other parts right now?
The last time.
But
we
like,
went to
why
order
wouldn't they
them,
just show the
they
U1
only
and say
had
out of
the
stock?
home care, and it said until supplies last.
Oh no.
We haven't had anything 100% confirmed by our rep, but I'm pretty sure they are.
Do you get
discontinuing it.
the corporate emails from your rep anymore?
Um,
Because
Bagless
my
vacuum
friend
cleaners.
who
What?
works at a dealer no longer gets them. He just has not gotten any, not even generic emails from Mila anymore.
I want to ask this real quick. Babs.
Mila
what
has
brand-
bagless?
What all
Pardon?
brands do
I
you
never knew this. Huh.
so in our shop,
Yeah, Mila has 2 bagless machines.
They have
Yeah, they've
4.
got
go ahead.
the triflex and then the what is it? The canister.
Yeah,
The Blizzard.
That's why.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right
I
now.
think that's why I rated them not quite S tier when I did that rating, because they sell bagless.
What? Just
Yeah.
because they have the option
Yeah,
of bagless?
so-
Oh, come on. That's mean.
It's a horrible bagless, by the way.
Oh.
It's like,
It's one of
like-
the.
So
That's iconic.
so it's not the kind of thing where it's like, oh, it's not the best, but hey, at least there's the option. It's like, oh, this is actively like a piece of shit and this shouldn't exist.
Well, yeah. Well, Tracy, have you ever used a dual chamber wind tunnel bagless?
Only like 77 times.
Fuck those
Okay,
things.
so
Unfortunately.
it's like that machine. The bagless is like that.
Ew.
It was purposely made bad so that you would buy the bagged cleaner.
I would
Mm-hmm.
probably guess that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was in the statement from Mila.
'Cause that-
was like in the email from them.
They're
Oh,
like, here's our bagless machine for people that are gung ho. I want bagless.
Yeah, it's like, here's a bagless machine, but you really should buy the bagged machine. So they made the bagless machine worse in just about every way.
it's like a Mila gateway drug for those who are still hooked on
Yes,
bagless.
Yes, it's the
Yeah.
gateway
Yeah.
drug theory, which is not really a great theory.
No, but I mean, I mean, I like this
It
blue
gets
one.
people into the shop.
Yeah.
True.
It gets
That-
them in.
Have you had somebody coming in asking for a bagless Mila? I never did.
I've never
They-
even seen one.
Very, very rarely. So, quick, Robert, to answer your question, we pretty much just carry Mila, Sibo, and Ricard as far as vacuums. We've started stocking some of the, and I hate that I'm saying this, we started stocking some of the Titan machines and like the Kenmore Titan, just because there was a while where we were having a really tough time getting in Mila's with the power nozzle.
Hmm.
So we were like, we need something because they're
You need a canister, yeah.
and
Have you met Josh May yet
I have not.
from Ricard?
That's not what I want.
I-
If you do, you should like show him one of my videos or something. He'll figure him.
I'll just be like, hey, do you know performance reviews? And he'll just be like, but yeah, so the Titan group, the Titan machines, the Kenmore Titan thing, I hate that we carry it. I just, I see it on the floor and I'm just like, ugh.
Does Sibo?
But no, the blizzards. We had one person that came in and she was just like, I want the blizzard pet, and we're like, well, what about these? She's like, no, I want the blizzard pet, and we're like, oh, okay, we'll order one for you if you're willing to pay right now, and she did. So we're like, all right.
Oh, you got a
order
sale.
blizzard pet, and then we've sold one new blizzard turbo team.
Okay,
You
I
should
get it
stop
now.
The filter preemptively.
We have a couple in stock already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who even owns Kenmore?
Kenmore doesn't it? Well, oh yeah,
Kenmore
Kenmore does
is-
exist.
So there's Kenmore, and then there's the machines that were made and the name Kenmore was put on it. Sears sold the name Kenmore and Craftsman off.
Yeah.
I own a couple Kenmores. 3 actually. One of them doesn't work. I own a Kenmore Drytech and a Kenmore Destiny Plus.
So you own Kenmore Phantoms.
Yes.
Okay.
Imagine that.
That sounded more seductively than I intended it to being. I tried to do the thing that Robert did where he was deep throating the microphone. It did not work. Also,
It's not
is
like we've had updates, but it's really extremely annoying.
So
I don't understand why a customer would go for a bagless machine versus a bagged machine.
well, here's the one
Yeah,
thing.
Dyson and Shark have spent so much time and money advertising bagless, and because every big box store only carries bagless, so they think, oh, bag machines are obsolete now, and then they come in and they're like, wow, you still have bag machines? And it's like,
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm gonna try really hard not to just roll my eyes. 'Cause
That's the point. Well, I was just gonna ask, because this site is like really weird to me. Is there like a thing where I can product directory? Oh, okay, never mind. I just answered my own question. I was gonna say.
All right,
First
of all, it's a Wix site.
Ugh.
I actually know the guy who made the site.
Squarespace is where it's at.
Well, that was before Squarespace. And
Oh yeah, you're right. I think Wix did come first.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
see, this is what I was looking for. I was trying to see like what the cheapest SIBO
so the
is.
Dart is probably the cheapest one you'd want.
Yeah. Well, I also would like to get one of these Gs or an automatic.
The automatic machines are really fun, and they're like a Hoover concept one. Like there's just something special about it, but it's not.
But I should probably
do hard floor.
Realistically, I should probably go for the essential, right? Because I mean that's probably all I need, right? No?
Because it doesn't do hard floor.
Oh.
It doesn't even have a squeegee. At least the X machine, they say you can do hard floor.
And then the Dart and the Felix. So the Dart and the Felix are the ones for hard floors, right?
I would say Felix and the Dart are really where it's at with them. The Dart doesn't have a swivel neck or a telescoping handle or hard floor tool.
I don't really care about.
But you can shut the brush off on the Dart.
I mean, I don't really care about the tool, and I don't really care about what'd you say it didn't have? Oh, I guess I could click on it.
It doesn't have a swivel neck.
No.
It doesn't have variable power. The handle doesn't telescope, and it doesn't come with a separate bare floor tool. And you still shut the brush off and do bare floor, so it's like.
See, honestly, like I don't care about those other things, but I do wish it still had the telescoping handle, because I think that's kind of neat. But I'm sure it's probably the what?
Which is too tall for me, and I'm 6'3". It's too tall for me.
I'm 5'11", so it's probably gonna be a little bit.
Yeah, it's super tall. It's like abnormally tall. The other one to look at is the Karcher CV300.
Oh, I forgot about the Karcher.
So the CV300, you cannot turn the power nozzle off. It is on. Period.
You have to put a switch in there.
Oh, damn it.
Find
Okay.
the switch and put it in separately.
Well,
yeah. Even
I don't
still,
wanna-
it's not a big
I don't
deal.
wanna do
and with
that.
the money you're saving on the CV300, you could just buy the bare floor tool. It'll fit on there. So.
Yeah.
And that, as far as the telescoping handle, the thing that's annoyed me the most is if you're one of those people where it's like, I want the shoulder strap, like if you're going around doing a bunch of like up high dusting.
It seems like this thing would be
putting the shoulder strap on without being able to shrink the handle down.
This machine to me.
Customer to buy the shoulder strap.
Yeah,
I always had it in stock. I never sold it in the years I sold it. Never had the shoulder strap.
It looks to me like while it is.
But I'm a weird person.
Yeah, it looks to.
Makes sense. It's more like a sling than a shoulder strap. It's like a sling. Like
Yeah.
Like you're hunting in Africa. You have your rifle slung on your shoulder, except it's Felix.
Yeah.
It's really nice if you're doing a lot of up high detail dusting or doing a bunch of shelves and you don't want the machine to tip over. It does actually like mount really nicely on your shoulder and stuff.
Yeah, no, it works. It's just I've never sold one.
Yeah.
And
I'm not gonna.
It sits on your shoulder like a rifle sling. It's very nice and elegant, and except you're carried out.
Wait, did you say this doesn't have a rush roll shut off, or am I looking at this wrong?
The CV300 does not.
Oh, sorry, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
My memory is worthless.
Honestly, the CV300 though, it's really great value if you're like you want a SIBO machine but you're on a budget. Like it'll still do everything you want it to do, and again, the money you're saving, just get one of the like.
Yeah, get a separate attachment. You know, I guess the other thing is the Dart. You're going to have a better warrant. You're going to have a warrant.
$400.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
I do really wish that with the Felix you could get a bare floor tool.
Just put that in Amazon.
Oh, the Karcher?
The Mila's going to be getting rid of the U1/S7.
Why is it $393? That's such a weird price.
At all. It's over 10 years old. They say their products have a 7 to 8 year lifespan of it. They should.
Sure.
The S2000 is due for the chopping block too. Like the C1 is due for the chopping.
So are they going to come out with another upright, or are they just done with uprights?
I think what has happened in the market, and I don't like that this is what's happened, but my understanding generally what's happened in the market is that the stick vacuum market has robbed the upright market.
Yes.
Yeah.
It hasn't created a new market, it's just robbed the upright market. So I think what they're
That's
just going to do
weird.
is make a stick vac, which the business-wise makes sense, but if you want an upright, it doesn't make sense.
And
Well, yeah. If anything, wouldn't it rob the canister market? Because like that seems like more of a
stick vacuum
parallel.
Customers are upright customers.
Yeah.
So
That
the biggest
that's
problem
true.
I have with selling the Triflex is people think that with the Triflex they're getting a machine that will do whole house deep cleaning. And yes,
No.
depending on the power setting, you might be able to do your whole home if it's small,
Hmm.
but you're not deep cleaning.
You're not
Wow.
deep cleaning, and it's underpowered. To me,
Yeah.
the Triflex feels like a high
I'm gonna put my
quality
information here. That's
Hoover
stupid.
Lynx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the
There's-
Hoover Lynx.
There's not much. Yeah, there's not much power to it, and it's like it feels like a last gen cordless.
Yeah.
So
I've tried the Triflex. It's all right, but it's nothing to be write home about.
I wouldn't get one personally. I like
No.
my Loop more, mostly because
I think for the price range, the Lupe makes more sense.
better
Lupe.
capacity. You get a hose. Why doesn't the Triflex at least
So I think
to get
I think-
an external hose?
Yeah.
So I think the Lupe's form factor.
I want to get a loop. Yeah, like the
of
upright
a
form factor.
2/3 size upright with a hose that stands up by itself. I think that form factor makes a lot of sense compared to like a traditional stick vacuum or
Yeah.
even upright. I think its form factor makes sense. Its nozzle. If they sold that thing with what you call the flip flop nozzle, I would buy one.
Yeah.
And
I can't
That's-
get over the nozzle.
That's
design of
like
it.
that.
It
That
feels
form
so-
factor is like what you see with like the old what is it called? Air cordless, which they don't make anymore. But I know they make the one
Air
powers
cordless, I
now.
have one.
Yeah,
So-
I have one, but I need to get a battery
Good
for it.
size.
Yeah.
So, like with the Loop, it's actually so I don't normally like bagless. I don't normally like cordless. The Loop, I actually don't mind. It's actually my I leave it out in the living room as the daily for like my roommates to use as well for just zipping around just daily run it over carpets real quick.
Yeah, spilled some
I am
chips on the
actually
floor, that
impressed
sort of
with
thing.
how it does on carpet. It cleans carpet pretty darn well. I like that it just starts in the medium setting always, and that's almost always what I use. The battery life, I've not just run it flat out until it dies from full charge, but I can usually go about a week of using it every day. Mind you, my house is only about 1,200 square foot, and I have area rugs. I don't have full carpeting, but it does a pretty decent job. There are some parts of it that are definitely clunky, and sometimes the buttons don't feel super solid, but it's not.
One of those machines, I'd like to experience it in my home and do a proper review of one.
Yeah.
But what cancerous thing did Tracy just pull up on the screen? Is that Tyneco?
Or is that Sue?
What?
Is that Tyneco or Musu?
Are you just allergic to pronouncing names correctly?
I'm from New Mexico.
I'm from Michigan. I do my best, dude. You should be surprised I can even count to 10.
Well, I mean, I live in Illinois, but I'm
You
from
should-
Kansas
I'm
City.
struggling not to throw S's on the end of everything and say Charlie, bro.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, this is just that Honiture that I got.
That you have.
It's that Honiture that I got.
The what?
Honiture, yeah, it's one of the Chinese knockoff things. But
Well, don't use it. It's got lead in it. It's gonna give you cancer or something, and not just in the state of California.
it does say the battery may explode on fire. Do not expose the battery to high temperature as it may catch fire and
As
explode.
opposed to exploding on ice.
Yay.
So
I
there's a
never
joke that
I
everything
never read
explodes.
this warning before. That is hilarious. I love that.
Yeah.
That's funny. This
Alright,
thi- look,
I'm gonna-
this thing kind
I'm
of
gonna
sucks,
get
but
to-
for $100
it is
it's
2
like
in the morning
what
and
can you
I-
expect?
Oh shit! It's 3 in the morning. It's daylight saving time.
Four for me.
This was a
4 for me
yeah,
too.
thank you. Well, y'all have a good night. Tracy, it was good. Good live stream, Mr. Tracy.
Yes, thank you.
Tech Studios. which everybody should simp for Intelitech Studios and give him a super chat.
Everybody should simp for Alex Performance Reviews as well and give him a super chat. And anyone else here who has a channel, they shall also be thoroughly simped.
Shit.
Well, y'all have a good night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go too.
Have a good one. Take care.
Yeah.
See us go.
One thing I'll add is central vacuums should be one of the more standard than they are.
I also agree they should be one of the more standard than they are. Anyways, good night, y'all.
I'm hopefully this summer gonna get mine properly installed. Still can use it how it is now though. Works good.
Sweet. All right.
Have a nice night.
You too. Take care.
Yep. Bye.
All right. So, finally, now that that is concluded, I'm gonna go ahead and read some of these comments, even though I'm sure everyone in the comments in the chat is officially asleep now. Let's see. Yo, hey, I want to donate $100. Well, then go ahead and do it. Tide Pods taste so much better than the Gain stuff. Let's see. I wonder if Bissell will ever use the long crevice tools with the holes again. I think every company should use those crevice tools with the suction relief valves on them, or just the holes. I mean, it's really all they are, but I think it's a good feature. I guess if you have a suction like control on the machine, then it's not necessary, but I still think it's nice to have it. I don't think it really hurts. But yeah, let's see. What cute tool should I get for my vacuum? My vac is wanting to explore its wild side. Black ones. Let's see. Chance, you look tired. Oh, I didn't look tired. It's just I kind of have resting bitch face. So if I'm like listening to someone on the call, then it looks like I'm pissed off, but I'm actually not. Also, there are also a couple things that they were talking about. Mainly like I don't even know if was Alex talking about a car? Of that thing where it didn't come with the boxes and manuals and stuff that it was supposed to after it was delivered. It's like I'm just like I don't care, but at the same time that is still kind of, you know, I like when friends tell their stories and stuff, and I try to listen to all their hobbies and stuff, because obviously I like a lot of stuff that people don't give a shit about, so it's nice. Oh, I just cursed. I'm gonna have to now to get Susan some cheesecake this time whenever we go bowling again. When are we supposed to go bowling? Oh crap, we're supposed to go bowling today. Oh, I gotta go get some sleep. Anyways, Intelitech Studios signing out. See you guys in the next video and or stream, and I hope y'all have a good one. Peace. You didn't see